I was going to try to.
He sent them all. He sent them a St. Ides. He sent them a 40 ounce. Like, what is this? At least give us some Maker's Mark or something. My man said Crooked Eye. Here you go.
Woodford Reserve. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something.
Either Woodford or Jim Beam.
Yeah, he sent you some Split Smart liquor. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, some Splits.
I got Split Smart liquor.
Some Billy D.
Oh, no.
Code 45. He brought out works. He got you a Code 45. Works every time. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. Lord.
Gotta get Billy D. Williams.
Oh, man. Remember them commercials? Man, he made Code 45 look cool, bro. Ooh, he made that shit like you were a CEO.
Yeah. Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, and only the hood was selling that shit.
Exactly.
You didn't see that shit in Beverly Hills. Oh man, Code 45. Work you, man. Man really pimped that shit, man. Oh shit.
He said, "Don't let the smooth takes fool you."
Yeah.
Yo, oh man, he really made that chick look like high class. Only Billy D. Williams can make Code 45 look high class. I mean, I was a kid. I'm like, wow, that thing must be expensive. I'm like, oh shit, like yo, that must be some expensive. That shit was like $1.50, man. What are we talking about here? Oh shit! When I started drinking 40s, man, I'm like, wait a minute, this Code 45 tastes like shit. Give me the St. Ides. Fuck that. We're going with the old English. That was it. That was it for us. Break out the old English. All right, man. Hey, welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. Your only friend is YouTube Streets, Porter Rock 77. We are back with another episode of 60 Frames No Lag podcast. We're out here talking about games, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. I guess PCs, or we're here talking about Xbox, because everything's an Xbox, right? Even the Nintendo Switch is an Xbox. But hey, truly appreciate you guys rocking out. While you're here, please hit the like button and don't forget to share this out among your favorite social media apps and stuff like that. Pretty much just Twitter, right? Twitter and Blue Sky. But wherever you like to politic, please share it out there and bring in some new family members to the chat and stuff. And then, of course, there's membership opportunities if you choose to sign up for. But ultimately, I'm glad you're here rocking out with us, enjoying the show, and I hope we have a good show here today. But of course, let's go through the panel, get through the crew. Craig, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's happening?
Everything good?
Yeah, can't complain. Got tomorrow off, so I can stay a little bit longer. So
okay.
Got some other things to do, but I just trying to stay out of this heat, man. I mean, I had a bad experience on Saturday at the pool. So I got really dizzy and damn near got sick. So just y'all be careful out there. It's in another hour here. It's still gonna be like 86 degrees. And it's gonna be almost 10 o'clock. So just you all be careful.
86 degrees at night. Loud. That's hot. So, all right.
But yeah, be careful. But yeah, I like most everybody. I forgot I pre-ordered Death Stranding too. So on Thursday, I guess it started download. I can't remember if it's Thursday or Friday.
That's what I'm talking about. And you got the Pro? So look at that. See that beautiful box in the background? My man, ready.
Yeah, that's Pro number 2. That's my Xbox right there.
Okay. Oh, man, here we go. Oh, man. That's his Xbox Pro.
Oh, man.
He got the Xbox Pro right there.
Yeah, I got the Xbox Pro. I got that VR Pro or Xbox already. I don't need to get the Meta. So because mine is going to work. Overall, though, I agree. I'm not going to spoil Death Stranding 2. It does have a recap, like a 7-minute recap being read to you by Dead Man. So if you're wanting to understand, I still don't get it. But I'm going to enjoy it.
Just deliver them damn packages. That's what you got to do.
I was
just deliver the packages. Just it. Deliver them shits.
Throwing P-bombs at dark things called BT. Still don't understand what that is, but whatever it is, you can throw P at it and it blows up. So
it stands for beach stings. Beach stings.
Oh, beach stings. Okay, well, beach, well, that makes sense because you're on the beach. But I like most people have got it, and I'm looking forward to really playing it. I like J Dub. He said he snuck an hour in. I almost did that this morning. I got up at 4. I'm like, Well, I don't want to start playing because then I want to call. I'll call in. So
Yeah, I
I'm
can't
just
do
gonna.
it. I need to
I'm just
block
gonna
off a good
tomorrow.
solid 4 hours. You know,
Yeah,
so I'm doing
yeah.
it.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
gonna
blocking
play
off a good.
tomorrow.
I can't do an hour. That'll kill me. So I'm gonna block off.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna start Friday. I'm gonna start playing Friday. I'm gonna block off a solid 4 hours so I can at least really get into it and stuff. So I can't wait. All right, my
I
brother.
mean,
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna just kind of play around with the
Mhm.
controller to make sure I have the axis set up and make sure I got the settings right. Shout out to Gaming Tech. He's a guy that does all your HDR settings. If you got LG TVs, he either LG or Samsung's. He does the HDR settings and the gamma set. He does all that for you. He explains it really well. So if you all have LG TVs and you want to check that out to get some good settings, but it sets up really good. The HDR is set already at 5. You don't really. Of course, I turn mine down to 4 because I like a dark screen, and my TV's a B2, so it already is darker than the C. So I may end up turning it back to 5. Just have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, excited to play it. I've heard nothing but good things. I don't get it. The total meltdown on Twitter that's going on with this game. I don't
We'll get there.
understand it.
All right, Craig, you're taking up too
Yeah,
much damn
maybe.
time. All
All
right,
right, man.
J-Dub,
That's what we
next.
doing. That's what we
Next,
doing.
J-Dub. What's going on tonight? Damn, half the podcast is about
man.
Craig. Hey, J-Dub, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's good, everybody?
I just asked how you doing. He already about to complain about the game. I like people in the game. All right, what's going on, J-Dub?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Everything good, man. Listen, look, we got my goatee finally arrived. You know what I'm saying?
It's third party, dog. We ain't trying to hear it. We ain't trying to hear that shit.
Sir. It is third party. It
We
is
ain't trying to hear
third
that
party.
bullshit.
It is, right?
We're the true
And
PlayStation guys.
I know, right? Hey, y'all, I like what you did out on Twitter today. You know what I'm saying? That gives people another dose of reality. You know what I'm saying? So they shut the hell up.
Yeah, they forgot. They forgot where they came from, man. That's the problem, man. Dudes forgot where they came from. You're like, I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't new for PlayStation, right? For those who are wondering what I'm talking about, right? Because Death Stranding is getting slandered, but we'll get into that. But everything good, my brother?
Everything good, man. Can't complain. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be able to stay too long tonight.
All right.
I gotta put in a little bit more time with Death Stranding too, you know what I'm saying?
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should. All right.
And the goatee.
All right, no doubt. And then of course we got Ghost. What's going on? Appreciate you coming through. You on Crossfire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ghost has muted. Ghost muted. Ghost is muted.
Yeah, he muted.
You're right. He's conducting business. He conducting business. He out there conducting business. He's shaking his head. No, fire his ass. Fire more people. He's like, fire more people. Fire more people in Microsoft. That's not enough. That's why he's doing right there. Oh man, guy's vicious. Yeah, raise the prices, fire more. We need these profits margins up. All right, we gave y'all $80 billion. That shit ain't free. What's going on, Ghost man? How you doing, brother?
What's happening, man? Just living life, man. Just enjoying the times and playing the hell out of Death Stranding. So I like J-Dub. I went to bed early. Woke up to, of course, make sure it was downloaded and played it for a little bit. Took some screenshots and then it's a phenomenal looking game. So
yeah, them screenshots look nice. Them screenshots look nice. I'm like, whoa.
And I purposely used my phone instead of like screenshotting it from the PlayStation Network. Just to show you, like, usually the phone loses a little bit of fidelity, and that shit was still sharp and amazing.
Yeah.
It's eyeball-man. Like, you pair the PS5 Pro with an OLED and just buckle up. Yeah, buckle up.
He said buckle up. All right. It looks like you're getting nice weather back there, man. That yard looking nice and bright. You look like you're sweating a little bit. You got some lemonade or something?
Well, I'm like Craig. I'm in Indiana. He's in Kentucky. I mean, it's blazing hot, man. It is.
Oh, it's horrible, man.
Oh man, my man look like he's sweating. He like shit. How about you, J-Dub? You in Texas? I know you sweating your ass off.
Yeah, I just left Indiana. It's crazy. Like literally yesterday, I literally just left from Indianapolis.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm in San Diego, California. It's like 80 degrees. Perfect weather. I'm chilling.
Weather all day long.
No stress here. All right. Oh, it's good to hear y'all fellas, right? But real quick to touch on. So, So we'll talk about Death Stranding because that's the topic, right? Got a 90 on Metacritic, still sitting at 90 with over 100 reviewers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All
So ain't nothing like a game on PlayStation getting 90 to piss off people. That's like one of the funniest things. Like, what makes it funny is how fast they say, "What's going on here, man? The screen don't want to, like, you camera shy, son? Get out, get your ass out here." All right. So what's funny is nothing really gets people in their feels when whatchamacallit, they talk about PlayStation, no games, whatever, but then PlayStation be dropping them goaty bombs on them. And now they get in their fields, right? So why was it all today? They're talking about it's third party, so they make it. And I'm like, yo, like, we're not even talking about if PlayStation made it, right? We're just talking about like, hey, PlayStation found a way to give us a goatee, and those who bought a PlayStation, they get to benefit from those decisions and relationships and things that Sony does, right? Like not every game of the year banger came from Sony's first party studio. Some of the biggest games, it was because of PlayStation relationships. Like PlayStation's like, yo, you know what? That shit's a good idea. We're gonna make it happen. Like Spider-Man.
Yep.
Spider-Man was a third-party IP, obviously Marvel, and Sony got a third-party, even though it's a second-party relationship, but they got a studio that didn't belong to them, which was Insomniac to make it. And now we got probably the best Spider-Man franchise in gaming and stuff like that, right? And Sony, another one, Stellar Blade, right? Stellar Blade, that was a project, originally Project Awakening. It was canceled. Well, because the developer didn't have the funds to keep it going. Sony stepped in, but like, you know what? Let's do something. Let's keep this game going. We got you. Right? And we're going to cut a deal. So Sony consistently does that. Kojima, especially with this one, right? This one, Death Stranding, right? Let me get a better picture for the crowd. Let me get a better picture for the crowd here. Where you at? Oh yeah, here we go. Boom. So I'm gonna put this picture up. All right. So, it's like, yo, like, this is crazy. Like PlayStation, supposedly, PlayStation gamers, whatever, today are getting pissed off over this, right? Oh, it's not Sony first party. I'm like, bro, look at the complete story behind Death Stranding, right? Did we forget? Like, we definitely didn't say this shit last gen. When Death Stranding first started, nobody complained that it was third party last gen, right? That was crazy. Right now, it's a problem this gen, right? But last gen, let's look at the whole holistic story behind Death Stranding. Kojima left Konami. They had a bad relationship, and they left on bad terms. Kojima left Konami with nothing. He didn't own the studio. He didn't own the Fox engine, which he created. He didn't get ownership of Metal Gear, which is a game he created. Nothing. Konami owns the IP to everything, from the game to the engine, everything. That man left, with a tissue box. You know what I'm saying? He probably couldn't even leave with the merch. He couldn't even leave with the Metal Gear merch. That had to stay behind. So nothing. Foxhound unit, development studio, all that was kept by Konami. He left with nothing. Literally nothing. The only thing he had, really, was an idea in his head for his next game. That's it. And that was in his head. It wasn't even penned on a canvas. Nothing. No concept art, nothing. Just an idea of his next game in his head. He went to, looking out for multiple studios. Ultimately, he got a partnership with Sony, and Sony laid out the red carpet. They not just provided funding, but they actually provided the engine for this game, which is Decima. Sony's own first-party engine, and XDev support to back up whoever. They help. He had nobody. From what I was told also, they helped him get other developers to form his little mini studios. So they even did that. They helped him get the crew that he wants. XDev supported with PlayStation, hardware going back to PS4. Sony fully funded it, the project. So he got the money. He got the support. He got XDev backing him up. And he got Guerrilla with the Decima engine. And within 3 years, he was able to produce Death Stranding, a game of the year banger, right? And now, because Kojima, he probably at certain points in that conversation says, listen, I appreciate everything you guys are doing, but I want to be a multi-plat dev. I want my games to be in more platforms. And Sony's like, you know what? We don't want to be assholes. Cool. We just want the first dibs. Give us the first dibs. Right? And then, you could do what you do and stuff like that, right? We'll even sell you back the IP, and stuff like that. They don't want to be complete assholes with their creators, right? Because they want the creators to come back. They always want to keep that relationship established. All right, cool. That's done. Everybody's happy. A lot of people didn't like the game, especially from cough cough Xbox, Walking Simulator, FedEx Simulator. They didn't give a shit until it finally got announced to Xbox.
Yep.
Now everybody loves it. Now people saw what we saw. Now they see the Kojima magic, right? Now they see the vision. Okay, fine. Fast forward. Now we got Death Stranding 2. When people say, oh, PlayStation go good games, no good games, whatever. We got this now. Look at this motherfucker. It's a Game of the Year banger. But now this don't count. Right? Because it's third party, blah, 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 whatever. Now that I include in everybody, I include in the audience, I include in the chat, this is where I brought down. Now you can understand, man, get this. I don't want to promote this shit. Get this shit out of here. There you go. Now, what I did here, hopefully you guys could tie what I did, right? Because they're trying to bash this, right? You bought a PS5, right? And there's a reason why a lot of us bought PS5s. First party, third party support, your friends are on it, multiple reasons, right? But the one thing is, if you've been playing on PlayStation for a long time, right? Depending how far back you go, but if you definitely go as far back as PS1, as many people claim, then you know big third-party games has been part of the staple of PlayStation. The Final Fantasies, the whatchamacallit, you got Final Fantasy, Legacy of Kain, right? Tekken, you have some big third-party games. Resident Evil, that's probably one of the a lot of people's memory of PlayStation 1 is tied to Resident Evil. How many times have we heard the story of the dog crashing out the window?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest memory for a lot of people on PlayStation 1. That scene when you walk through the whole door and boom, the dogs come out, that scared the shit out of anybody that played that game. And it's a third-party game.
The liquor was in that same hall.
Right?
The liquor was in the same hall.
Yeah, that was a classic moment in gaming. Anybody who played the PS1 and played Resident Evil, they know that scene. Everybody talks about that scene, right? And that's tied to PlayStation. But that's Capcom, a third-party game. So I'm like, wait a minute, man. All this new energy about third-party games that are great, and they just so happen to be on PlayStation for whatever reason, whether it's money had it or the developer just wants to make it for PlayStation. That's always been, right? From Metal Gear to Final Fantasy, Grand Theft Auto 3, right? So I'm like, yo, Red Dead Stranding on the Beach 90, instead of just simply saying, God damn, PlayStation got another goatee on there. How do they keep getting goatees on this damn platform every year? Nope. It's third party. Whatever. Congratulations. Oh, come to PC a year later. And I'm like, hold up. Okay. So if this is how the PlayStation fans want to act today, then you just decimated the PlayStation 2. That's the thing. In your grift, to grift for the PlayStation 5, you're literally ripping apart the entire PlayStation brand. Because this at one point was considered one of the best holidays in gaming. Holiday 2001 of PlayStation 2. Yeah. If you look at this list, right, and let me see if here you go. This list right here was possibly one of the best fall holiday lineups of all time on any platform. This lineup right here won the console war for PlayStation 2. It was over. It didn't matter what other console was out there. It didn't matter. No one gave a fuck. Yo, you're talking about by Christmas of 2001, you had Ace Combat, Dark Alliance, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy X, Gran Turismo 3, Grand Theft Auto 3, which was the biggest out of this entire list. But then on top of that, Ico, Jack and Daxter. But Metal Gear Solid, listen, in this list alone, Gran Turismo 3, Devil May Cry, Grand Theft Auto, and Metal Gear. That ended. Those games alone ended everything. Everything else is just icing. Ico, Jack and Daxter, Silent Hill 2. That's just icing. Final Fantasy, Devil May Cry, Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto. Those 4 games, done. Everything else on the list is just bonus. Just bonus. Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy, I'm sorry, and Metal Gear Solid 2. Are you kidding me? It was over. Those 5 games, endgame. It didn't matter if there was a new Xbox or GameCube. Who gives a fuck? This is it. All these bangers in one area, right? But I scratched them off, as you can see. Clearly, the holiday fall lineup, if you just whittle the holiday 2001 lineup to just Gran Turismo, Jack and Daxter, and Aiko, I'm sorry. That's not a big 2001 lineup. It's not. The biggest game there is Gran Turismo. It is what it is. In fact, I would say Xbox One, because it launched with Halo.
Yep.
And Halo was a gen-defining multiplayer game, which this was a time of online getting big or whatever. And stuff like that. Well, even though it wasn't online, it was LAN party primarily, Halo 1. But you see what I'm saying? I'm sorry. This holistic picture right here, this holistic picture is what made this probably one of the best 2001 holiday in gaming across anyone. You could take this list and compare it to any 2001 any holiday lineup of any other gen, and it will be hard to compete with this. It will be hard to compete with this, especially Grand Theft Auto 3. That alone was the phenom out of anything, period. That shit was huge, bro. Huge. It was crazy. The FIFA Grand Theft Auto 3 came out. It was insane. And here's the crazy part. The game ended up on Xbox anyway, that gen. It wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? It was more or less timed exclusive, right? Because OG Xbox got Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City as a double pack, like 2 years later. And then San Andreas came out a year later after the release of San Andreas on PS2. So OG Xbox got all 3 Grand Theft Autos that gen also. So Grand Theft Auto was a timed exclusive. It was a timed exclusive. Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. But no one gave a shit. They just wanted to know, yo, when this game comes out, what I gotta get? And guess what? Boom. Gotta get, a PlayStation. Right? So that's why I did this. I scratched this off. I'm like, oh, real PlayStation fans. None of these count. Come on, that's ridiculous, bro. Let me get some points. Jadab, I know you saw this. What's your thoughts when you saw this? Because I know you liked it. Did I get my point across? Like, is the weirdness getting too weird now? Like, do they not realize? And this, I just use PlayStation 2. I could do the same thing with PlayStation 3. Metal Gear Solid 4. One of the best games on PlayStation 3.
Yep.
That was that's third party. Like,
I saw the conversation and I saw your reply, and I already know once you decide to reply with something, you're gonna put some time, effort into it, and then just kind of silence it. But I've kind of been seeing certain people kind of go down this avenue for quite some time. And then I look at things like, listen, the console war is over. You can feel how you want to feel. You can go back in your nostalgia days. You can cry. You can talk. It is what it is. But it puts everything into perspective. And I've always said that nostalgia is a hell of a drug, because people always remember the fun memories of yesteryear, but because they don't remember the bad stuff. They just grab all the good stuff and say, yeah, this is a great time. But back then, it was a lot of bad times too. It was a lot of fucking shitty games too. We just remember what we want to remember from that. And so again, with this whole conversation that comes up about what's third party and what counts and what doesn't count, it perfectly lay out. Either something's gonna count since generation 1, or none of it's gonna fucking count. So choose your poison. You can cry now about this gen, but if you want to be honest, you would have to go back every single generation and keep that same smoke. And then you'll realize, oh, you know what? Yeah, this generation isn't so bad. It's cool. I'm good. Because you would have to remove all those fucking games that we used to have back then, because all that shit was fucking third party.
Mhm.
All of it was third party. And I don't know, man. It is what it is. I try not to even give it much energy, because we're past that point now. We're past the whole exclusive thing. What does not even matter anymore? The competition has given up and put 100% of its games on your platform. So what does the exclusivity stuff matter anymore? Who are you competing against now? This is not Xbox, and Nintendo don't even play in the space. They kind of do their own thing. So who you really? I mean, you just gonna fight against yourself?
That's what I mentioned, right? At this point, when you look at the landscape, like in the console space, right? If you're interested in consoles, right? PlayStation is literally the console that has everything, right? The only thing PS5 doesn't have is its own version of Game Pass or Game Pass itself from Microsoft and Nintendo first party. It got and only one of those is actually games, which is Nintendo first party. Not having Game Pass doesn't mean you don't have access to games. It just means you just don't get games at a cheaper price because of a service.
Yeah.
But like not having Game Pass doesn't impact getting games. So you don't need Game Pass to get games. So the only thing that's actually not getting games is Nintendo first party, which is obvious. It's Nintendo first party. Outside of that, you get PlayStation games. You get Xbox games. You get third-party games. You get third-party exclusives. You get second-party games. You'll get games from the West. You get games from Japan. You get games from China. You get games from Korea. And soon you're going to get games from Africa and the Middle East. Soon you're going to get games from the Ukraine at the rate we're going. There's no place in the world where if somebody's making a game, it's going to be on PlayStation. Ain't no region in the world where somebody, you understand what I'm saying? Somebody can make a game in Papua New Guinea. Guess what? It's probably going to be PlayStation funding it. The only platform, right, that can say they get more games is not even a console. It's PC. It's not even a console. There is no console that can say they get more games than PlayStation. It doesn't exist. And there's probably no console that has been ever created that says they get more games than the PlayStation 5. Because at this point, we've never seen, the previous consoles get all Xbox games at this rate. Nothing. The only platform that gets more games is PC. And then most of it is like the indie shit and stuff like that. And maybe, the MMOs, things that are, PC specific, right? But in the console space, there's no device. There's no console out there that's getting more games than PlayStation. PlayStation is getting everything. Everything. It's got his own wife and it's fucking everybody else's wives. So I don't know, like literally. People say, "Oh man, Xbox, we're gonna get Steam back." I don't need Steam. PlayStation gets everything. The fuck I'm gonna get what's on Steam? Fruit simulators? I don't want dick girl games. You can have that. You're good. I'm good. Keep that shit. PlayStation gets everything as a console. There's literally no console that gets more games. Nothing. It's just everything is there. Everything is there. You see what I'm saying? So this is why. So like the whole worrying about PlayStation exclusive, bro. PlayStation got every game. Like it's literally the God console. It's literally the console people thought that one day was gonna happen. Oh man, it's gonna be a scary time if there's a console that just gets everything. That's PlayStation. We're here. Good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know if that's good for the industry. I don't know if we're gonna get fucked over in the future over this. I can't tell you that. But I'm telling you now, we are there. PlayStation is the console, the one console to get them all. It's PlayStation. The only other device that can argue is better is PC, but again, that's not a console. That's a gaming PC platform. A lot of console gamers ain't fucking with PC. A lot of gamers want console. And if you're a console gamer, there is one console that gets it all. It's the One Ring of all consoles. It gets everything. And it's not stopping. It's going to get more. Because again, Sony's investing in other regions in the world. Right? So soon, maybe by the time PlayStation 6 starts going around, you're going to get games from India. You're going to get games from, Africa. And you're going to get games from the Middle East, from all those developers. And that's all being funded, and head honcho by PlayStation. Like, bro, we could all shut our channels down in content creation and just look at the reality. PlayStation got it. Like, I'm serious. Everybody could shut their YouTube channels down and just let the world be what it be. And guess what? PlayStation's getting everything. Everything. From everyone. Except Nintendo first party. Think about it. That's the only thing PlayStation doesn't get. Nintendo first party. But Nintendo can't say they get everything from everyone. They don't. They don't get everything from everyone. So Nintendo can't say that. So the closest competitor, if you want to consider Nintendo competitor, right? They don't get even a fraction of what PlayStation gets. They're nowhere near the level of third-party support that PlayStation gets. They're nowhere near the level of Xbox support. Not even that. It's a wrap, son. Your PlayStation 5 console's the God mode. Gets everything. You want something better? you have to leave console gaming and go into PC gaming. That's the only way you're going to get better. You have to leave console gaming and go to PC gaming. And even then, that's opinionated. But if you want to talk in terms of library, just library and support and games, PC is the only one. And even then, you're going to have a little consequence because, as you've seen today, some PC gamers are not happy that they can't play Death Stranding 2. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel it should have been day and date. Some games are day and date on PC. Some games are not day and date. This is one of them. Ghost of Yotai is another one that's not day and date on PC. So there's a little, setbacks if you go PC. But for the most part, if you want just the overall bigger library, the only platform that could compete with PlayStation on that scale is PC. And again, that's not a console. But as far as console goes, it's done. It's a wrap. Puts. Finito. KO. Right? Craig, what do you think? And please don't bring up Chocolate Thunder or some weird shit.
No, I was just going to say that I really did not. I mean, I'm really starting to see.
Oh, shit. Extreme is there.
Step back from it. Yeah. It was happening. I'm really just starting to see this for what it is, which is J-Dub said something that was very important, which is most of these quote Xbox guys, they're on PC now. So whether it's Cole Eastwood, Jay Fonz, Dustin Legary, they're all on PC. They left Xbox. So they're sitting there on a PC that, they think all PC gamers, this from what I read in my thread today, they thought this game, like you said, Porter Rock, should be day and date. And, here comes the term money hatting again. And, these people are complaining about it. And I'm like, look, Microsoft money had it Mass Effect. They money had it Jade Empire. They money had it Sunset Overdrive. They money had a Quantum Break. Again, that's fine. Why there was no Titanfall? They money had it these games. And I don't understand why this is such a big deal. It shouldn't have taken what people talked about XDev. I'm glad XDev came out and said something because people were like, well, Sony had nothing to do with this game. It's like, no, this game doesn't exist without Sony. So the deal Sony cut is we give you the money, the seed funding, the funding for seeding, and then you go ahead and we're going to get the publishing rights. They did it. Porter Rock, you brought up Stellar Blade. That they shopped that to everybody and nobody wanted to fund it. And Sony came around and said, yeah, we'll fund it, but we only wanted to, we want to publish it on our console and have publishing rights. So that's what Sony is doing. Instead of buying studios, they're literally just, supporting the dev. They get publishing and then they run with it. And then they put it out. And Sean Layton, I believe, said that these second party devs get first party treatment. They get access to motion capture. They get access to the developers that help them streamline the process of putting the game on PlayStation. And then they get the marketing. That marketing push is from the first part. They put the money on it. So it's unfortunate. I think J-Dub is right. When he said this last week, the console war is over and that you're just going to have a group of people out there who can't let it go because people got to get eyes on, this whole thing called farming. I don't even understand this stuff anymore, like farming and getting eyes on your channel. And to me, if you bought a PC, that it's fine to say the game will come to PC. And like MBG said, fine. Can you tell me when? Because see, they can't. All I know is that Death Stranding is available now. It's not on PC. Ghost of Yote will be available in a few more months. And they're doing a deep dive next month. Not on PC. Grand Theft Auto, we know based on what we saw in the trailer, right on the PS5, base PS5, not on PC. We don't have it now. It's going to come to PC, of course it is. But now you got people making up dates. Oh, it'll be there 6 months from now. Is that what Kojima said? No. And, that's why I said to Cole Eastwood today. Is that what Kojima Productions said? Because I can't find a statement. It doesn't mean it won't, but I just can't find a statement on when it is. And shout out to D-Batch. I'll just mention this from Crossfire. I listened to Crossfire last week. D-Bash made a good point talking about that new Xbox having Steam and Epic. That's fine, but if it comes out next year, perfectly fine. But Grand Theft Auto will not be on PC, so it won't be on the Steam store or the Epic store. So what are you gonna do? So I just like J Dub said, I agree. I think it's in my timeline, it has just gotten ridiculous. You just got a bunch of pissed off people that went out, bought PCs, and now they're having to wait. And this explains the whole, like you said, Puerto Rock, in your video. I'm landing the plane right now. Puerto Rock, you did that video, right? Where you talked about Sony said they're not going to do day and date on PC, even though it's there in black and white. Coming from management, coming from the main people, these PC guys still say, oh, well, they're not telling the truth. They lied to their shareholders. So that's just where we're at this point. And yeah, I don't, like J Dub said, I don't pay no attention to it anymore. It's actually refreshing just to kind of talk about what's happening versus what might have been or what could. So that's just me, though.
Okay. All right. Ghost.
Yo.
My brother. So what's going on? Like, how do you feel about this new PlayStation, the real PlayStation gamers, right? Saying all this stuff without realizing, like, bro, you do realize you're talking shit about the other PlayStations too, right? Because this is not like new. Like why do people act like third-party deals, third-party relationships, second-party relationships is new to PlayStation? Like literally, they built their legacy on a lot of this stuff.
I think a lot of it is, you see a lot of that pushback and a lot of that the vitriol, of course, on Twitter, because you're trying to attract likes and you're trying to get, you're trying to get clicks. So a lot of those people say things, but do they truly feel it, right? And I think you made a post earlier when I can't, it might have been to Death Singer, and I use the analogy as far as like, cars or whatever. If you want something, then you have to go and buy that product, right? So if it's a specific feature or if it's a specific game or if it's a specific functionality, then you have to go, purchase that product to partake in it, right? And I just think that there's a lot of ingenuous or disingenuous people, especially on Twitter. And that's why I just troll and that's why I just laugh and joke and play because, when the rubber, meets the metal or rubber meets the road, a lot of these dudes wasn't going to play it anyways. Or if it's an Xbox guy, they're just mad because they can't play it. They weren't going to buy it anyways. PC guys will figure out a way to pirate or steal it or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, you saw a lot of the arguments when Death Stranding 1 first dropped, right? Or when it was on PC Game Pass the whole damn time. None of them knew it. But the minute it went to console, then it's the greatest game ever. Now that it's not, now it's back to a mid game. I don't pay no mind to none of those dudes. Whether they call themselves, like I said, I'm a hardcore casual. I buy everything. I play it at my leisure. But a lot of guys that say that they're true gamers, and I'm not saying whoever you're talking about, this individual is not a gamer, but there are a lot of frauds out there, or not frauds. There's a lot of guys that just like to hear themselves talk.
Yeah. Like, some of these guys, they play a shit ton of games. They play a shit ton of PlayStation games. That's why I'm surprised, right? Because they do play a lot of games. But I'm like, bro, don't you see like the words you're saying also completely destroys the PlayStation legacy? Like, that's why I put that picture up. Because that's now they see what they're doing. Now they realize, wait a minute, we hopefully they look at and be like, damn, we kind of overdoing it. Yeah. Because some of the stuff that PlayStation has memories and people have memories is from third-party games and stuff like that. Again, possibly the number one memory a lot of people go back to is the dog crashing through the window. But that's a third-party game. That's Resident Evil. That's not Sony's first part. So a lot of people remember PlayStation, like, yo, remember that scene on PlayStation? Resident Evil, walking down the hall in a dog, and be like, yo, that shit scared the shit out of me. That's a third-party game giving you that memory, that feeling, and stuff like that. You know how many people enjoyed the shit out of Tekken on PlayStation?
Oh yeah,
I was like synonymous with PlayStation, right? Then you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, what are these cats doing today? Like trying to bash Death Stranding. This is status quo. Like what we're getting this week is what PlayStation has done generation after generation after generation after generation after generation, right? One of the best examples to kick off PlayStation 3, like within the first 2 years, was Metal Gear Solid 4. Sure as hell sure as hell wasn't Motorstorm and all that shit. Metal Gear Solid 4, boy, when that shit dropped, what? That's a Konami game. Kojima. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is mad crazy, bro. Like, what's going on, you know? Soul Reaver. You know how many people want a Soul Reaver remake? That's not first party. That's not a first party game. That's absolutely, you know what I'm saying? All right. Hey, yo, Extreme, what's going on? My brother from down under.
Shout out to Death Stranding too.
Oh, my man got. Oh man, my man got the Don P. He out there. Man, he got Don. He got Don Perignon out there, right?
Man,
you know,
that's Colt 45.
Oh shit, that's the Colt 45. He just touched it up. He just made it look nice. He just made it look good. He's just making the Colt 45 look good. Hey, Extreme, you know what Colt 45 is? They had that in Australia. Oh man, look, man, you guys are not cultured. You know, if you don't know what Colt 45 is, you're not cultured.
You know what's funny? This is technically Prosecco, and I have no idea where this bottle came from.
This is whatever.
I just looked through my cupboard and I'm like,
no, that's like my wife. My wife is happy with wine in a box. She don't give a fuck. She gives no fucks.
Well,
whatever.
I am definitely not happy with wine in a box.
From the box to a bottle, $2 or $200. Pour it up.
No, this is like, you know, when people come over and they're like, hey, we need to get you a gift. And they're like, here's a bottle of alcohol. And I just put it in the cupboard and it's been like 3 years. And I'm just like, fuck it, I must drink something. Fuck it,
pop, celebrate. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We got another goatee. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to PlayStation Nation.
Claire Obscure got some competition.
Hey, listen, it was about time. Still, Game of the Year, of course, Game of the Generations.
Okay.
You know, but you know what? It's great to see other games because success does not have to impede on other people's success. So there it is. Listen, I don't really get the fervor behind this argument. I don't really get the fun in it. I don't really think that it provides anything intellectually stimulating enough to even get into. I will say though, the way that I see this is that people have had a hate burner for this generation. I think as soon as the PlayStation 5 came out, they decided, and I think this is because it was just opposed against the Xbox having nothing to compete with. But they've decided that this generation must be a failure because the series generation was a failure from the get-go. And we could all see that. Like the moment we saw, what was his name? Craig from Xbox?
Oh, yeah.
It was a wrap. That was it. Like everyone, the moment we saw that, we knew Xbox has lost this generation. If you didn't know, you were rather slow or you were in denial. You have to pick one lane. Okay? I mean, you could be both, but you knew. You saw Craig and you were like, yep, it's over. It's over. That was your flagship franchise, your flagship title. That was on the box, and you showed Craig. So I think that they decided then and there that if Xbox Series was going to have a failed generation, then the PlayStation 5 must fail too. And at the beginning, you know, the narratives were spun. Oh, he only has 9 teraflops because apparently we all became teraflop experts, right? And despite the architect of a console telling you like, hey, compute calculations and theoretical outputs is not a way to measure performance of an actual real world scenario, they were like, no, you know, like we still have idiots like D-Batch saying, oh, the PlayStation 5 is less powerful because of teraflop count. And I'm like, how? Because listen, if there were 2 cars, right? And one of them had a faster 0 to 60 time in a straight line, that does not necessarily mean that it is the better on the racetrack. And if the other one won more races, and you're like, no, this one is still the better race car, it's like, no, the record shows otherwise. You can't just say, oh, this one measurement that shows something theoretical is going to make it the better thing in any way, shape, or form. Just like I say, for me, teraflops have always been like seeing 2 fighters and one has more muscle mass. So you're like, well, he's the better fighter. And it's like, it could be. Absolutely could be.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean, you know, that he
the results show
going to be. Exactly. And if the results show that the other one is winning more often than not, even against this fighter, then it's like you have to start changing your narrative. But they refuse to. They still prefer to cope. All these years later, I still hear both PlayStation people and Xbox people tell me that the Xbox is more powerful. And every time I ask, how is it more powerful? They always go back to teraflops. And I'm like, we have learned we have learned nothing. That's where we are. We are arguing with people that still haven't understood logic from 2020. That's how
No.
far behind they are. So it's like there's no point in arguing with these people because it's like you're stuck. You just want this PlayStation 5 to fail. And it's what we said the other day on what is it? On Blaze's podcast. And I said to people, listen, another semantic game that they want to play is simply this. If a game was released cross-generation, so it's released on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, it
Yep.
counts only for the PlayStation 4 generation and not for the PlayStation 5 because it was released there. Okay, fair enough. No problem. But listen, that's a double-edged sword and it cuts both ways. Because if you're going to extend the pedigree of the PlayStation 4 beyond the release of the PlayStation 5 and attribute every game that comes onto that platform as it belongs exclusively to the PlayStation 4, you're going to have to play the same game for the PlayStation 5. And trust me, it's going to be for longer. Like, if you think the PlayStation 4 isn't going away, the PlayStation 5 is going to haunt your grandchildren. Trust me, it's going to follow them in the dark. Okay, even Chuck and Thunder is going to be afraid of him.
Oh man!
Listen, because the PlayStation 5 generation is going to extend well beyond the PlayStation 6 release date. They could make that PlayStation 6 in 2040, and the PlayStation 5 will be there in 2050.
It'll be right there.
Yep, I believe that.
Like, hey, listen, I'm still here. Still big. Like
it's like that cousin that don't want to leave. Like, yo, you only here for a week. It's 2032.
Yeah,
been here 10 years.
Been 10 years. Exactly. You know what it's like? It's like when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna go for a vacation in Puerto Rico," and then they just stay there for 9 years. They get married, they have a family.
That's gonna be me.
Like, yeah, I
ain't coming back. I ain't coming back. The food's too good. I got a one way. Hey, I don't worry, I'm going on vacation. Why is your ticket one way?
No, like, honestly.
Oh man.
People want to play these semantics because they want this generation to fail. And it's extremely sad because it's like, why? Why are you so invested? Listen, when it comes to the whole cross-generation debate, I always say this. I treat it like a presidency. The day you are sworn in, everything that happens afterwards, that's under your credit. That's under your leadership. I don't care if it was 99.99% complete, okay? The moment you are sworn in, it belongs to you. So for me, as the moment on November 13 or whatever, you know, that the PlayStation 5 release, every game thereafter is part of the PlayStation 5 generation, especially if it has a PlayStation 5 version available. That's my philosophy because I don't want to be keeping track of a console 7 years later because EA refuses to upgrade to the next generation alone, or like Call of Duty is going to release for the next 17 years on the PlayStation 5. I don't want to keep track of that. That's way too much work. But hey, some people want to play this semantics, so have fun with it. The other thing that you pointed out is 100% true. You want to apply this logic now, well, then we have the right to retroactively apply it to every other console generation, you know? Like people talk about how the PlayStation 4 was amazing. The PlayStation 4 was not amazing at launch. The PlayStation 4 was rather lackluster for, what is it, the first 3 to 4 years? In fact, didn't Sony themselves admit that it was kind of lacking in the first one?
They said it was
sparse.
They said it was sparse.
So if the company itself that has all of the incentive to make the platform look as appealing for customers and investors as possible is admitting to you that they have an issue with it, then you can't just look back and be, you know, people look back at the PlayStation 4 the way that they look back at E3. Everybody wants to pretend that E3 was so great. E3 was boring as fuck. Let me tell you, because I was there. Okay, people remember 3, 4, or maybe 5 moments in E3, and then they're like, "Oh my god, I miss it." No, you don't. You don't miss 99% of it. You only miss the highlight reel of certain highlight years, and that's it. That's all there was to offer. Everything else, the Ubisoft conferences, the EA. Does anyone remember any of those? We all went.
I do remember, but the ones that are funny.
Exactly, right?
What is it? The
one
Project
given year
Natal
where there was like a
showcase.
presenter.
Oh my
Pardon?
God. I will always remember that one. Out of all the E3, besides Spider-Man and God of War, the E3 I always remember is the Natal one. Oh my God, that shit was bad, bro. Oh my
The
God,
Project Natal?
Xbox Project Natal, the Connect. Oh my God, that thing, bro. Yo, you had that dude dancing to Street Fighter. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Played that Central.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That's it. It was so comical. You had the
And every
girl
year,
playing the
their
tiger game,
stance.
and like the tiger would lick the screen, so she's pretending she's getting licked. I'm like, yo, that girl needs to get like mental health, bro.
man.
Like she's like, hey, kitty. She's like, oh, stop it. I'm like, the thing's not licking you. Like, what are you doing? like, yo, that shit was bad.
Listen, she was immersed. She was immersed.
Oh my God.
It was an
Oh my
immersive
God.
experience. She could feel the
Yo,
licks.
that E3 was off the hook. The dude playing Star Wars, fucking like instead of him controlling the game was controlling him. Like he had to move with the game. If you guys have not seen that, you miss peak E3 with that one. That was peak. That was so peak E3. My God. The dude said, "Hey, you ever seen the bottom of what was the characters called on Xbox 360?
With
The little avatars."
Not me. That's Nintendo.
Yeah, that's a Nintendo.
That is the me one.
What's the name? Chat. What's the name of the Xbox 360 one? What was the name of those characters? I forgot.
I don't remember.
That you can create it.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of those characters.
They used to call them Drivatars.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah.
Was it Avatar? Is it the Battle? Was it Avatars? That's what it's called. I think it was Avatars. He said Spencer's.
I thought it was another name, but it could have been. Yeah.
I think it was Avatars. Yeah, Avatars. They call it. Goes. You ever seen the bottom of? You ever seen the bottom of the foot of Avatar? Damn, there it is. But when he spun around, the leg got twisted and they got all fucked up. Yo, oh my God, that shit. Like instead of just the character spinning around and lifting up his leg, that shit went. Yo, I was like, yo, this shit is bad. I'm like,
he's an Xbox hater, people. He's an Xbox hater. All of his favorite moments of
that thing was just so funny. I recollect that whole show. Yo, I recollect that whole shot of all the shows. Only Spider-Man, God of War, and that Xbox Project Natal. Like, my God, that was a disaster. That shit was the disaster of the greatest. Equity proportion. All right, man. All right. So, hey, who here? Extreme, you said you're not buying it, right? Because you don't got a Pro.
Yeah, no. Yes, okay. I don't have a Pro. And also, I'm not in the mood to play the experience right now. You know, it's 150 hours.
It's 30. It's third party. So you're a real PlayStation fan. You're a real PlayStation fan. It's third party.
Exactly.
You ain't trying to hear that shit.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently, you're a real PlayStation fan. You ain't trying to hear that bullshit. Third party. Yeah, we're hyping third party titles. Oh shit. Pass. Okay. Oh yeah, that's it. You wait for Game Pass. That's it. That's the way, as you should. On the Series S. On the Series S at 30 frames, as you should. Stuff like that. All right. Oh, so I think everybody. I don't want to talk about it. What happened?
What's the code 45? Is that a beer?
Oh yeah, you don't know what a code for. You haven't lived. Billy D. Williams, baby. Code 45 works every time.
Every time.
He's still thinking about it. He's like, wait a minute, I gotta find out what this Code 45 is.
I've got to find out what it is.
That's
peak malt. Okay, I like
malt. That's peak malt liquor. That's peak malt liquor.
Right. Okay. If I ever found my way, up to the land of the slaves, I'll try it.
I don't think they make that anymore. Do they still make that? I don't think they make that. They make that Code 45.
I don't know.
You get a 12-pack ice cold, $1.99.
Oh, I bet you can even buy it in Australia. Look at that.
Well, you can buy it. Look at that. You're cultured. There you go.
Apparently.
You're gonna see Extreme in the next podcast. Crack open a nice Coke 45 and crack that shit open. Oh man. Okay. All right. So I don't want to really talk. I guess we have. I know some of you played a little bit. I haven't played it yet. So we're gonna skip over to the next topic. I think maybe next week we could talk about Death Stranding a little bit. Maybe spoiler free. We'll see about that. But hey, the banger's out. Get it going. Oh, it's 90. Yo, I predicted 89, so I was close. Yeah. I was close. 89, I said. 69. I said, you said 69.
Yeah.
How
That's my
dare
prediction.
you? He says all the games are 69. You perv. Chocolate Thunder. That's what you be thinking about. But man, got a 90 Metacritic banger.
Banger.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, what's more to say, man? Ghost posted pictures of it from his phone, and that looked gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it, man. Let me see. Hold on. Right? This is from his phone camera. The fidelity looking crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. You know.
And fragile on there, looking pretty fragilely nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here it is, right here. I took these on my phone, but look at that. This is off his phone, bro. Look at that.
Look at the ray tracing.
Golly, bro. This shit look good as fucking on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
My TV can't handle this quality image. You know
Hey, somebody in the comments said it looked like a screensaver.
I know, man. This shit is crazy. This looked like you went on Yosemite and took a picture.
Yeah, true.
Look at that. That shit look. Oh my god. It's just fucking up my screen right here. What is going on here? You know what I'm saying? Let me hit up the super chats. With Glassdoor Gamer, he says, we play while they wait. Have a great show. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming through. Gordo P23 with the $5 super chat. Never understood the argument of it's not first party, so it don't count. I can only play the game on PS, so what does it matter if it's not first party? You know, PlayStation made a legacy of that. And now they're trying to crumble it. I don't know why, because that ain't changing. You know what I'm saying? The majority don't care. Well, country. Stop talking.
This has to be said. You all were talking about an individual behind the scenes, won't say anything. That guy has been mad ever since Factions 2 got canceled. This guy, he has copped an attitude ever since Factions 2 was canceled. Just threw his hands up in the air and said, And
I'm going to say, if there's anything to complain about PlayStation, right, it's that, the live service strategy. That's really legitimately so far that has been the bane. Now we're not going to argue this all over again on whether they should keep going or not, but I think we can all agree it hasn't gone off to a great start. You know, like when Sony said, hey, we're going to push out these single player bangers, of course they have issues, but they generally have done a good job. Right now it's one game so far that, you know, over the last 5 years is really their new stuff, right? Hopefully Tokon's coming out, so the fighter, it goes along with the Evo, but the strategy hasn't really panned out too well. The purchase of Bungie has been abysmal. What?
Yep, they are, and we do not blame them. I'm telling you, we're good now.
Yeah.
This is the good part.
You think?
This is a good part.
What happens after Tokon, though?
Listen, after Tokon, another banger. Trust me.
Another banger? Okay? You just don't know?
For you. Yeah, listen,
Project
I know,
Gummies?
but you don't
Project
know.
Gummies?
I'm not about to spill the bill.
Project Gummies? Project Gummies? That's gonna be the banger.
Listen, man, we're gonna have a great title, okay? We have Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. You know, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it, okay?
Marvel,
we're gonna have you saying Tokon.
Tokon. I still don't know how to pronounce it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna definitely. All right. Boba Country. He said, stop talking nonsense. GT3 curb stomp Halo. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, man. GT3, it was.
Listen. I mean, listen. GT3, a great racer, right? Outstanding, probably, you know, the father of Sims, you know, that whole franchise. But Halo changed the industry for console gaming. It literally, Halo is the reason why Sony says we got to get our own shit, Killzone, to compete with it. And it didn't work. It didn't work at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, Halo literally changed FPS for consoles, because a lot of developers thought you can't do it because of the controller, right? Like FPS was exclusively a PC thing because of mouse and keyboard, and that it's just not going to work. You're not going to get good first person shooters. Third person, they say, yeah, it's fine, but first person, not going to happen. Halo changed the game. It literally redefined console gaming from a first person perspective.
GT3 did curb stomp it though.
I don't know about that. I don't know how. Like for sale? Well, in sales, yeah. It sells, but
Halo 1, 5 million.
yeah, but
Halo 2, 8 million.
Yeah, but OG Xbox only sold
The two of
25
them
million.
combined couldn't
No,
beat
but I'm saying
360.
but OG Xbox only sold 25 million. It doesn't have the capacity to sell those numbers.
It doesn't
It
matter.
does. It does. No, from a sales perspective, yes. I'm not arguing that. But Halo didn't have the capacity to sell that much on the OG platform. What?
Yeah.
That was the 360. No, Halo 1 and 2. No, Halo 1 and 2. No, Halo 1 and 2. No, Halo 1 and 2 is on the OG Xbox.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. And then when you look at the audience, it's even less because you needed Xbox Live, which was a paid service. So really, the only people who bought Halo 2 was the Xbox Live Gold members. If you didn't have an Xbox Live Gold, you can't play Halo 2. So that's even a smaller audience, right?
I mean, you could play it. You just couldn't play online.
Oh, yeah, you could play the first part. Yeah, that's true. You couldn't play the multiplayer, but that was like the biggest draw for the game, right? But when you talk about impact, Halo literally put console first-person shooters on the map going forward. And then that's when the big boom started happening, right? And it's a gift and a curse. That's when everybody was like, oh my God, everything's a first-person shooter now. But it is what it is. But shout out to Bobo Country. And it could be I'm biased with racers because racers are dog shit. Jay Barry. All right, shout out to Jay Barry. What's going on, my brother? Man, one more episode, right, Barry? Damn, man, I almost feel bad, bro. This Saturday is the last What's Up PlayStation podcast. That's fucked up. Craziness. When people be like, Porterac, your channel sucks. I want a real PlayStation podcast. I'm like, bro, What's Up PlayStation? Don't come to my shit. I just talk shit, but preach truth. PlayStation podcast, my boys, J-Bar and Persona, they're going to talk gay like, yo, I got access to games that I never even heard of because of them, and I loved it. When they did their weekly spotlights, but this is it, right? The last Saturday, oh man, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna feel bad seeing them. Man, they'll make a comeback. They're talking shit. They'll be back. Maybe in 10 years, but they'll be back. Y'all make a comeback. Mm-hmm. Y'all just need time. Come back when the PlayStation 6 arrives. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna drag out that season finale like Attack on Titans.
There you go.
Be like, this is our final episode, part 5.
It's gonna be like Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? The first time, like everybody was telling me, this was years ago. Everybody was telling me, yo, that shit is hot. So dope anime. I'm like, I watch it. I started watching, or when I got introduced to it, it was during the, what's that name? Masambu? What's that fat motherfucker called? Majin Buu.
Yeah.
I'm like, when does this episode end? This motherfucker's been fighting Majin Buu for the last 30 days. I'm like, fuck this show. Yo, worst time. They say, my boys were laughing. They're like, yo, out of all the times to start Dragon Ball Z, that was the worst time. Because that shit was like a whole saga. I'm like, this motherfucker don't die. Like, I'm literally watching this show with Majin Buu. Like, fuck this show. I'm not watching it. So that ruined it for me. Right? Tell me that's not the worst time to be introduced to the show. The Majin Buu saga. I'm like, every fucking episode's with this dude. Like, beat the motherfucker already. I'm like, I couldn't do it. That shit stressed me out. Yeah, see? PD Pro says it. You started on the worst arc. I never went back since. So I'm like, get at it. I told my boys, don't you ever recommend some shit like that to me again. And they say, oh man, you got to start from the beginning. What?
Jesus Christ. The end.
Yeah, it was bad.
I really hated that one.
But Jay Barry says, P-Rock, you getting them upset on Twitter, a.k.a. X, them bots and idiotic talking points, where they will get exposed on later. Hey, it is what it is, man. It was getting ridiculous. I'm like, wait a minute. These guys are like blasting anything PlayStation does for decades, for generations. I'm like, all right. And I just plant the seed, and I just see what grows. Plant a little seed, water it. The rest is nature.
Well, I mean, think about it. You had people saying that they were going in the wrong direction. They've made record profits. They don't have to do a showcase. They did that state of play. Wasn't it their most watched state of play or something like that in a while? So all you need to do is not going to be a showcase. All you need to do is get it ready. That's it. That's all you need to be doing if you're in the PlayStation ecosystem. Just get it ready. We got the deep dive of Ghost and Yote in about another 2 weeks. We get another deep dive. So
August is also on the side.
Yeah, losses aside. Yeah.
I
So
waited
I mean,
forever
boom,
for
boom, boom.
that.
Yeah. So you're getting boom, 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 hit with the left, the right, and the uppercut. So and so there's something there. And what I like about it is that the variety. Okay, if you don't, the Death Stranding does not appeal to you, and it's a niche game. Maybe go see Yote be more your speed. If that doesn't, maybe like that JRPG Losses Aside. Look. So but yeah, I just I agree with what everybody's pretty much saying here. It's just and Ilm I thought said something very intuitive, which was because Microsoft's system failed, that means everybody else has to fail too. And Microsoft's going third party, putting games day and date on PC and on other consoles. I don't know how many times I've been tagged in things saying, "How come Sony won't release this on Xbox?" And I just say because they don't have to. That's it. It's not difficult. They don't have to do that. And just because Xbox is doing something doesn't mean that Sony or Nintendo has to do it. That Microsoft's problem is Microsoft's problem. It's not Sony or Nintendo. So yeah, I'm to a point now that I've recognized that. So I just don't say a whole lot of anything. I see a lot of other people taking arrows from the PC community who's spent, and again, I would be mad too if I spent $3,000 and had nothing on there except banana. Yeah, I'd be mad too. I would say Sony need to put your games over here too. Our power, what is this? The power deck simulator, whatever. Again, you paid $3,000 to you could pay $3,000 and get a real deck that you can really go ahead and do Power Wars, on. But it's unfortunate that it's come to this. But I stipulate a lot of this is the Xbox community that left the console space, went and got PCs, and they're seeing just how inept the PC stuff is. They're getting bad ports, and they're getting upset. They're rooting against Grand Theft Auto at this point. Just it won't be 60. That's their last claim. Because first they said it was running on a high-end PC. Turned out it wasn't. It was on a PlayStation. So now the saving grace is, there's no way it's going to be 60. It's not even going to be on your PC. It's going to be 0 on your PC. So it is what it is, unfortunately. But
all right. Chris Edwards. Shout out to Chris Edwards. Thank you so much for the super chat, Chris. I'm tired of PlayStation spending their money giving me more games to play. Signed, a real PlayStation fan. That's what I'm talking about, Chris. We real PlayStation fan. We not handling that. We don't listen. XDev helping make games for us. Nope. We don't care who you help. Don't count. Real PlayStation fans don't play that shit.
First party. Yeah, that's a Sony first party studio.
I say y'all funding games to get made. That don't benefit us. Real PlayStation fan here.
I have a question though.
What's up?
Haven't we been for the past week arguing with people that are saying that the ROG Xbox Ally is an Xbox because Microsoft says so?
Okay. I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna bring it up.
Even though it has a touch screen.
The Xbox fanboys are making the reverse argument, right? But I'm gonna show you. Shout out to Grigiddy, man. He did it. He went there. I'm like, oh man, here we go. And it's spreading like a disease. Like that point's coming across. Glinzer, Xbox got an exclusive. Console Stranding again. Oh shit! Shout out to Glinzer. Glassdoor Gaber. PC exclusives are underground trash. They wait. Shout out to Glassdoor.
Yeah, I'll help you build a PC, but you're gonna be waiting. We don't know when Grand Theft Auto's coming. It's going to PC, but when?
Okay. And then we got would it be Major Claridge, MAJ, Major. All right. Shout out to you, sir. He gifted a membership, so somebody received a membership. So give a shout out, Major Claridge. Right? I hope. I'm guessing that's your rank. I don't know. Maybe that's your name, Maj. I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Is that your rank or is that your first name? I see that as Major because that's Major for short. So maybe it's the military in me. It's the Marine in me that I instantly just saw that as a thing. I don't know. Maybe. Let me know. Or maybe that's your first name. Glassdoor Gamer. Thank you for the super chat. PlayStation is the king of high-end gaming. PC history shows every 5 years it's the future and then it falls off the map again. Hearing it since the 90s. Oh, Lord, boy. You're going to have PC. Man, you're going to have PC Nation after me. Oh, man. Here we go.
They're going to be trying to rearrange Porter Rock's face.
He said, "Call me Mason." All right, we got Mason. All right, no doubt, Mason. Thank you so much for the super chat. And then we got Gabriel R with the super chat. Says, "I'm a little upset you didn't push back at Jack when he was on the Friday pod." On the Friday pod? He says there's no games yet. He didn't play Stellar Blade, Rise of Ronin. Which podcast? You talking about? What Friday podcast?
Friday, she's on the phone. What do you need?
I wasn't on the podcast on Friday.
You did a one-on-one with him though, didn't you? Maybe not this past
with Jack. You're talking about my one-on-one.
Yeah.
Years ago. SB Rise of Ronin. Listen, bro. That's I say. I try not to replicate 60 frames no lag on that unless it's designed for a debate, right? Most of the time with a guest, I just want them to get their points across, right? Most of the time on Twitter doesn't make sense, whatever, right? It's really get their points across in full disclosure. And then however the audience receives is what he said. Not every episode is going to be a pushback episode unless it's designed to like an official debate, right? Then it's like, you're going to get fighter rock in the ring, right? But most of the time my life is like, listen, like King, I try to guide the guy with the whole no PS6. I was like, but he stood 10 toes down on the no PlayStation 6, and now he's going to have to own it.
That it will be a handheld? Was that it?
Why? He's arguing that it's going to be. He's saying that the PlayStation 5 Pro will be the last console. The next thing is, I think he's trying to say he's going to go the Switch route. It's going to be a handheld. And I'm like, it's going to be a handheld mobile device like the Switch or the Asus ROG Ally. That type of. But that's the PlayStation 6. The PC handheld, not with PC software, it'll still be PlayStation software, but the traditional console is gone. It's going to be more mobile. I'm guessing it sounds more like he's claiming PlayStation is going to go the Switch route.
Okay.
And I'm like, good luck with that, buddy. I'm like, all right, just like, hey, own it. When the day comes and you see this nice big ass huge tower of a PlayStation 6 that looks like, the Eiffel Tower, there it is. Yeah. All right, Gabriel R. But thank you so much for the super chat, stuff like that. So this is like Gritty, man. What are we doing here? Where is it at? Hold on. Let me find this. So this he Gritty planted the seed. And now it's too late. We can't go back. Like, oh, man, what did you do? Like, I started seeing a couple of tweets, and then when I saw this tweet from him, I'm like, so this is the source. Look what this man did. Look at what this. Okay, here we go. Like, no way he did this. My man's trying to compare hardware with software, but this is what he did. He did it. This is a source right here. So he did it, man. This is him. He said companies Xbox doesn't own making Xbox hardware. And obviously you got, the Drake. Companies PlayStation doesn't own making PlayStation exclusives. So he's trying to say we're hypocrites because we're cool with companies making games that's not PlayStation first party and call them PlayStation exclusives, but companies who make Xbox that, companies that Xbox doesn't own making Xbox hardware. Well, yeah, right? Because you got Asus making. Let's say Asus makes the next console. They're not making a console. They're making a PC. I don't think. Here's the thing. And let's put this is the dilemma. These guys are not admitting or don't realize that Microsoft is literally making them PC gamers just under the rug. They don't see it yet. They don't see that. They don't want to face reality. They don't want to face it. There's three things. Either they don't understand or they don't want to face the reality. One of those two. They don't get that Microsoft is just serving them an actual gaming PC. Nothing special. No trickery. No Xbox OS. What do you call it? Trans system that them.
It's a transgender.
There's no transgender box. Nothing.
PC.
It's heterosexual straight, raw and rugged. PC gaming. Like there's no confusion.
Microsoft wants to give them a PC that identifies as Xbox. Okay, people. That's what it is. Do you hear that, Ghost? That's what I want to give them now.
Yo, you laughing, but
it's a trans box. Ghost, I'm telling you, that's what they want you to
that's what
buy.
we're trying to do, and they don't get that, right?
Listen, Ghost, listen. You didn't know this, but all of your PCs were gender affirmative. They knew what they were. They were PCs the whole time. Some of them were Alienware. Some of them were like put together by you, but they always knew what their sexuality is. Okay, they always knew what their gender is. Microsoft wants to give them a trans box now. It's a PC. It has PC bits and pieces.
Listen, we're gonna get cambered. All right.
Xbox, okay?
Listen.
You gotta respect the pronouns.
That's it.
Okay.
That's
what I've been trying to tell people. You gotta respect the pronouns. Okay. It's a PC. Hey, you know what? It's not even a
damn,
PC.
I got M started. That's it.
It's an Xbox, but it has PC bits and pieces on the inside, and it has a mentality in this operating system of PC. Okay,
it's a man that can have a baby.
Mentality.
It's a man that can have a baby.
Identity. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Oh man!
Now listen.
It's a man.
After that, next generation is going to be a Diddy box. We don't know what that is.
Shit. It's gonna come with the lube as part of the kit. Listen. Here's the truth.
Next generation, that device is going to force Switch games to run on it.
Man,
that's what's going to happen. It's going to take those Nintendo Switch games, and it's going to be like, you're going to work with us. Okay.
Oh man.
I think like the reality is, I think it's more of the like, you know, the guys are having to face reality that like this is what Xbox is pushing them, you know, towards the PC, and I think their inability to admit that, because in some form or fashion they'd have to admit that all the times that you and J-Dub and King Thrash and Sick Humor and Jay Barry and all the people that are in this community have been telling them for years, right? And I think at when it becomes that apparent, because, you know, at every turn when you told them it was just 4 games and it's going to be more, or that they're going to go third party, they pushed back on all of it, right? And then now this one hurts to the core, because it's one thing. You know, you might I can see you get away with, oh well, it's just games, you know, and more people get to enjoy it. You know, that's the excuse, right?
Okay, right.
But when your hardware go away,
that's a different combo. Like your shit's gone. Yeah, like, it's gone, right?
And then what can you say? There's no amount of spin you can put it in. Microsoft, kudos to them. They are doing a phenomenal job of spinning this, of marketing.
Good.
And got these dudes eating out of the palm of their hand. Like, oh,
they're so good. Yo, they're creating stuff like, yeah, it's gonna have the Xbox OS and Windows at the same time.
No, that's not how that works.
What? You think Microsoft's going to waste his time with the Xbox OS? Like, I have a feeling the realization, right, is going to come. When does GTA 6 come out? May, right? May 2026?
May 26th.
That was the thing. Okay, what? May 26?
26. That's what.
Okay, so a year from now, right? Just about a year from now. Just about 11 months from now. May 2026, as long as it doesn't get delayed, Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. And we know it's only going to be available for 2 platforms, Xbox and PlayStation. The Xbox Rogue Ally, we'll call it the X-Rock, because that name is ridiculous. Xbox Rogue Ally X. It's like 90 names. It's like a serial killer. Sounds like a law firm.
The ROG, Xbox.
Yeah. Whatever. We just call it X-Rock for short, right?
Right.
They're saying this is an Xbox. It has Xbox OS. It's Xbox. It plays my Xbox games, whatever. Okay. That's gonna come out this holiday. And they're gonna be like, oh, it's great, whatever. A few months later, the Xbox guys on their console, they're gonna buy Grand Theft Auto 6. They're gonna buy it. And it's on their Xbox. Then when they try to play the game on their other Xbox, the X-Rock, it's not there. And that's when it's going to click. Like, holy shit. This X-Rock, the reason why I can't play Grand Theft Auto 6 is because it's a PC. And Grand Theft Auto 6 is not on PC. So I won't be able to play it on this. And that's when they're going to put their 2 and 2 together. That's when they're going to realize, oh shit, this is not really an Xbox OS thing. Because if it was, I should be able to go to the store and download my game and play it. But because Rockstar didn't create the PC version of the game, they won't have access to that game unless they stream it, right? Remote play. But natively, it's not there. And that's when they're going to notice, or at least some, they're going to start realizing, wait a minute, how come I can't play Grand Theft Auto 6? Oh, because the Windows version has been made. But I thought this was an Xbox.
Yeah, that's what D-Bash. Shout out to D-Bash. That's what he was saying.
That's when it's, but that's when it's going to click. That's when it's going to be like, but wait a minute, I thought this was an Xbox. The Xbox for me is, if I buy my game on Xbox, I could play it on my Xbox. Not now. Now the wheels are turning. Now you realize what Microsoft did. They got you onto Windows, but they won't realize it until. So they got a whole year. Yep, they got a whole year to recognize. In a year, the shocker is going to come in, and that's when they realize, oh shit, Microsoft's just making us play on Windows, right? Oh man, this is some shit. And then when the actual console comes out, and that motherfucker's like $1,200. for actual PC build, pre-built, and they'll probably even mark it up higher, right? Like what's crazy is the PC gamers. This is why I know. That's why I made a tweet asking for real PC gamers, right? Because the fake ones we got here, they just talk PlayStation, Xbox, and they get that wrong. So I'm like, bro, you guys are wrong about Xbox and PlayStation. Why would I listen to you about PC? You ain't getting shit right. Because if I was a PC gamer, the content I would make is, how overpriced are these hardwares going to be, right? Because generally, pre-built PCs are a little bit more expensive already compared to what you can build yourself. But then you add like a branding label to it. Hey, we slap Xbox on it. How much more are they going to put on top of the cost simply because it's an Xbox branding, right? So if I was a PC gamer, I'd be like, hey, for all you new console gamers that thinking about to get an Xbox, you might want to start learning to build your own PC because you probably could build a better one at a cheaper price compared to getting the pre-built you get for Microsoft. And you're not stuck with AMD hardware because there's some PC gamers that don't like AMD. You don't need AMD hardware. You'll find with your Intel NVIDIA hardware, you're going to get the same stuff. These are the things that PC gamers should be talking about. Like, don't let the marketing fool you. If you got Intel NVIDIA, you're good. You're going to get all the stuff. You could build the platform yourself, which is probably going to be cheaper. And all you console gamers, you might be buying overpriced PC builds simply because there's an Xbox stick on it. These are the things the PC gamers should talk. But they're not. What they're talking about is us, PlayStation gamers, who are like, why the fuck you talking about us for? We got our console. That shit ain't going nowhere. At least we got one more gen of console gaming. We take it gen by gen. The day Sony says we're not making a console, then we'll worry about it. But until then, they just confirmed the PlayStation 6. We good. We good.
Yeah,
the PlayStation 9 has been confirmed for the longest. Okay,
what happened?
I'm still waiting for that sphere. The PlayStation 9 is being confirmed.
The PlayStation 9 has been confirmed
for the longest. You all remember that ad? Okay, that was a promise. Okay, I'm gonna leave till I have that little sphere in my hand.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, I'm a realist. I try to tell people, like, just like what you said, as far as them worrying about like the far future. Like, I live in the here and now. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of Xbox, according to that Summer Games Fest table, there's a whole lot of old motherfuckers there. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all may not be.
No, that's what I say, bro.
In the beard, long in the tooth, motherfuckers on there.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like they try to sell me on Game Pass. You could try all these guys. Like, bro, listen. They be like, you could save money. Like, listen, I could make more money. I can't make more seconds of my life. So whatever I play has got to be intent and actually what I want, because tomorrow's not promised today. I don't want my last game to be a Game Pass game simply because it's on Game Pass. Fuck that. It's something I want to play, something I see, I want to play, and if I have to buy it, I'll buy it. Like I said, I'm always going to make more money. I'm good with the money. You know, I can keep getting paychecks, but I can't keep getting seconds of my life. I'm not wasting my time on just a library of stuff just because I have access to it. No, I need intent behind my gaming. My gaming's got to be purposeful and intent and deliberate. My gaming is deliberate. Very deliberate. That way, if I die, I at least deliberately play the game I wanted to play. I don't want to go to hell and be like, fuck. This is how I end up with, man, playing that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Nah. In fact, my hell will be a repeat of that day. Devil's like, I got your ass. You know what your hell is? You're gonna keep playing that game, dog. I'll be like, oh fuck, I'm stuck on that one.
Man. Hell's gonna be a Redfall at 30 frames per second.
Oh shit! Like that's all you got, dog. You're gonna be playing the same mode over and over. Like no performance mode for you, bitch. Suffer. I'm like, oh man.
Redfall multiplayer. Redfall multiplayer.
Oh shit, right? Nah, I can't be doing that, man. You know that's how it is, bro.
Forever.
Fuck, man. And then there's like a window screen, J-Dub playing fucking PlayStation. I'm like, fuck you. I see him playing. Hey, yo, Puerto Rock, you ain't playing greatness. You ain't got these goatees. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, shit, man. You know, I got to repent. You know what I'm saying? I got to read my Bible. Can't let that happen. All right. Let's move on to another topic. Let's talk about real quick. So apparently, you know, Nintendo hardware ain't really the screen, man. A lot of people are complaining about the screen. Like Nintendo really cheaped out with the screen. So right here's a post. My Switch 2 panel is very bad. Mind you, this video you see is with motion blur turned off. Motion blur on actually looks better because it's blurring the after image. You can see my other video over a week ago that has motion blur enabled. Like, look at this shit. Like, you know, all he's doing is turning.
Yeah, they deserve it. You want a body and you want performance out of it.
Like, bro, this shit's giving me vertigo. That shit's making me throw up. Like, what the fuck is this? Right? And then I look at the chat, right? And somebody posted just going through the menu. Look at that.
Yikes.
This is just going through the menu. You get a blur effect.
That looks good to me. That looks good to me.
Man, you bugging. I know you're about to throw up.
They deserve it.
Hey, I'm in hell right now. Watching that.
No, how you go through the menu and it's blurry? Like you're just scrolling through the menu. Lord. I don't know, man. You better wait for the Switch OLED.
Hey, listen, here's the way that I see it goes. If you go and buy a car from Toys R Us, okay, and you start riding that thing down the street, you can't be complaining about how fast it goes, okay? These guys want to buy a kid's tablet, and now you want it to perform. Hey, listen, I'm glad that's what you got. I'm glad. I hope they never fix it. Matter of fact, I hope they release a patch to make it slower. You deserve it.
I mean, I don't remember who it was. It was saw a post on Twitter where I think it was it was Tyler, the creator, I think, who said, like, man, like, you know, social media and these influencers are really, you know, messing up because it's giving people that have no clue or don't have the, I guess, the mental faculties of voice. You know what I'm saying? So you see it evidently every day. Like, you know, a lot of people that hyped up Nintendo, because I can vividly remember waiting in line so many years ago when the Switch 2 came out, you know what I'm saying, for my kids, and down there, you know, elbowing people the fuck out of the way.
Oh, for the Switch 1, the Switch 1?
The Switch 1, right? And waiting and to get my hands on it. And I just haven't seen the same amount of hype. And even in this gaming community, I mean, there's a few individuals that talk about it, but like I don't see you know, the YouTube videos, I don't see the Twitter videos, I don't see, and I think Nintendo, or like we said a couple podcasts ago, when, you know, now that they have the big boy price, they're getting a whole lot of big boy criticism. You know what I'm saying?
At this shit. Yeah, that's what happens. And then you talk shit like, you know, you try to go after third party with PlayStation. Okay, go after third party. Try to go after the big ones. You're gonna get that criticism. And look at this shit.
Lord. You get put under a microscope. You know, and I think that's one of the things that if you even look back to like this like the next gen consoles, right? You know, Xbox always has touted power and what they can do, and 50 CUs and x86 architecture and all that. But then,
56 CUs, I forgot about that one. Remember that, Craig?
It's 52 CUs.
52 CUs.
52 CUs, yeah. We still trying to find them.
You know what I mean? And then with
VRS tier 3. Tier 3. Remember, it's tier 3.
And then when something like the PS5 base, came in and it's punching above its weight or it's outperforming, then you got to eat a lot of crow, and that's what happened, of course, with Xbox, and it got exposed, and now that's what's happening. You're like, it has PS5 graphics or it has PS4 Pro graphics, and I don't see nothing PS4 Pro about it.
Yo, this thing, yo, like this is crazy, bro. Oh my God, I don't know, man. It's just like, hey, like they should have just stuck. They should have just stuck with what Switch 2 was always meant to be. It's just where you play Nintendo first party, and they were fine with that. It worked fine with Switch 1. Like, hey, bro, I got a Switch 1 because Nintendo first party. And that's it. You didn't have to explain nothing else. The online, no trophies or achievements, none of that shit. Just, hey, Nintendo first party. You enjoy Nintendo first party. That's where you got to go play it. If it was available elsewhere, they'll play elsewhere. But no, it's available here. And that's it. And you know what? That's understandable. That is an understandable explanation. You make your decision based on games, not on hardware, features, server, whatever. It's just the games. You love the games, enjoy it. But this Switch 2, right? Oh, like, listen. Oh, man, this is my favorite. This is my favorite Nintendo fanboy. This is my favorite Nintendo fanboy. Look what my man. Nintendo, baby. This is my favorite. Yo, I gotta invite him on my Friday Night Live. This guy's my favorite. This guy's my favorite. Wild. Yeah, he's wild, bro. This dude, boy. Hell yeah. It's been a while since we had a good, powerful Nintendo fanboy. We needed that. My man said, Welcome Tour is very detailed about Switch 2 cutting-edge hardware. Nintendo Switch 2 is a true hybrid home console, not a handheld. Nintendo Switch 2 is the best of both worlds. High-end home console. Best portable game experience. A $10 game destroying asinine false negatives. I can't with this guy. I can't. That's I even quoted high-end home console. I can't. Switch 2's false narratives are looking to push today, and that's really getting exposed like before. I can't. I love this guy. I can't with this dude. Yo, this guy's, he's worse than Barron, bro. Oh, high-end home console. Oh, my God. Like, I can't, bro. With a $10 instruction manual. Oh, shit. This dude, bro. I can't with this. Yo, I got to get this dude on the live, bro. I got to get him on the live, man. That dude, bro. That's it. He's it, boy. They are out here, boy. The Nintendo fanboys, they are out here. They're like, you know what? You know, they're like, what is it? The hell gas. You know what I'm saying? They got sent up to the moon. They're like, nah, we coming back. You know what I'm saying? These guys are the hell gas. We've been out here long enough. Oh man. All right, let's go to the final topic. Unless you have something else. But
I'm
yeah.
Good. I'm good.
You sure you don't want a 9-hour? Because last time, you don't. You know, you're like my mom. Treat me terrible, but my friends got all the trimmings.
Listen. Now we have to come up with a list of topics that's actually exciting to talk about. Listen, PlayStation fans going crazy. We talked about it. That's Death Stranding 2. Nintendo fans going crazy. Okay, fair enough. You know, now we're going to talk about Microsoft fans. You know, we're going to talk about, things that matter, like Expedition 33.
Okay. Man, we already talked about that. We moved on. That's old. That game is old. Anyway. It's old. The game is old. It's old. Anything after 24 hours is an old game. We need a new one.
This guy is going to play Death Stranding 2 before Expedition 33. What did you
absolutely. It's Kojima. Kojima gets first preference every time. Kojima over everything.
My issue is that there was like 3 months in between the two, and you still haven't played it.
Was it that long?
You're playing fucking Assassin's Creed.
Yes, I had. Listen. I'm a man of. Listen, I am committed. Like once I start a game, unless it sucks miserably, I will finish it. Like it takes a lot for me to stop playing a game. Like I could. I
play a better game. Instead.
No, but that will force me to stop. I can't.
And here we are. Now you're gonna move on to Death Stranding 2.
But that's not my fault, man. You know, it's the listen. If I was on Xbox, I probably would have beaten Claire already. It depends on where you're at. You know, when you got more options and better cuisines. It's tougher. You know, if I was on Xbox, I probably would have already played and beat. You know, because what else would I would have been doing?
Watching you choose Assassin's Creed over Clay Obscure was at that time that you were watching Doc Dark turn into an Xbox fan. You're just
Oh
like,
shit!
man, I tried to steer you right.
It's not too late. It's just gonna take time. Listen, hopefully I could get Death Stranding 2 beat before Lost Solo Side. In between those two games, I'll fit in Claire Obscura.
Oh, please. Don't even. Just put it at the end of the year. That's fine.
He said, "Don't put it. Just put it at the end of the year." You know what I'm saying?
I don't want you to rush Clay Obscure just so you want to play your roadmap.
No. Listen. When I start playing game, I don't rush it. I will enjoy it, and I'm gonna get the original build copy because I'm gonna get my 1 billion strike. You ain't gonna cheat me out of that.
You can still do 1 billion. Actually, people have been doing 1.6 billion.
There's another one. One hit. Which one? Okay.
I told you it was always still broken. Like you can still.
But I want that. I want the original. You know, the raw game. You know what I'm saying?
I told you before that you can still do it. You know the thing is, Skill Up came out with an interview. Yeah, the guy who created the system is actually like a mathematician, but he likes playing video games, and he likes breaking his games. So he said, "I want you to break the game. Like I don't mind you getting high damage numbers, but he wanted you to work for it. Like he wanted you to put combinations in order to get there." And he was like, Stendhal, the ability was broken by itself. So it wasn't any fun anymore because you didn't have to combine anything. So you can still get to the same damage output. You just have to actually, have a strategy. That's all.
Nah, you're not gonna make me do work when everybody have fun. What kind of bullshit is that? That's bullshit. Everybody else got the free thing. Yeah, they're like, no, bullshit. Everybody got the easy way, but no, Puerto Rico, because you're Puerto Rican, you have to work for it. Fuck you. I want what everybody else got. All right? I just want what everybody else got. All right? Listen, Brown versus the Board of Education. Stop it. We're not doing this. All right, let's talk about this. Microsoft plans major job cuts at Xbox gaming division. The video game division's latest round of layoffs is expected next week. Yo, if there's one company that did crazy layoffs, it's Microsoft, man, like by a lot. Microsoft Corp. This is Jason Schreier. Schreier is Schreier, right? Schreier or Schreier? Schreier. Okay, thank you. Rhymes with Fryer. Yeah, there you go. Great minds think alike. Microsoft Corporation will conduct another round of major layoffs in its Xbox division next week as part of a company-wide reorganization. Managers within Xbox are expecting substantial cuts across the entire group, according to people familiar with the plans who asked not to be identified, discussing non-public information. The company declined to comment. This will be the fourth big layoff at Xbox in the past 18 months, following 3 major cuts last year and the closure of several subsidiaries. Xbox, which produces video game hardware and software, has been under pressure from Microsoft executives to boost profit margins since purchasing Activision Blizzard Incorporated for $69 billion in a deal that closed in 2023. Bloomberg News earlier reported that Microsoft plans to cut thousands of jobs next week, largely in sales. The tech giant often makes organizational changes close to the end of its fiscal year, which concludes on June 30th. Oh, lordy. And if that's not enough, I think I saw another article talking about Microsoft reorganizing their structure in Europe, closing down. Let me see if I can find that. Right? Let me see. Hold on. Where are you at? Where you at? What's that? Closing down the thing with Europe. Where's Europe? Where you at? Oh man. Give me a second. Un momento. Can I find it? Did I save it? Okay. There we go. Boom. Found it. Here we go. Let's see what this is about. Boom. Here we go. The Verge. Microsoft is restructuring Xbox distribution across Central Europe, resulting in some Xbox operations ceasing in some regions. Let's go to The Verge. Microsoft planning major Xbox layoff next week. Microsoft is also planning 1,000 job cuts that will impact parts of the business. Is it just reporting Bloomberg? The same shit? I thought this was specifically different. Okay, no, it's a little bit different. All right. From Tom Warren, Microsoft is planning to cut jobs in the company's Xbox gaming business as early as next week. I first reported in Notepad earlier this month that Microsoft was planning Xbox layoff potentially by the end of the month. And now Bloomberg says around the major layoffs is due next week. I understand managers at Microsoft has been briefed about Xbox cuts and wider layoffs in other parts of Microsoft businesses. The upcoming cuts are also expected to hit Microsoft's sales organization just as a start of a new financial year. Microsoft is planning to restructure part of its Xbox business as it looks ahead to its next generation consoles. One source tells me Microsoft restructuring Xbox distribution across Central Europe, resulting in some Xbox operation ceasing in some regions. These latest layoffs will be in addition to the 6,000 cuts Microsoft already made in May, and on top of more than 300 impacted earlier this month too. Any major Xbox cuts will be the latest in a series of big gaming-related layoffs over the past 18 months after Microsoft laid off 1,900 Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees in January 2024. And then in May 2024, the company closed several game studios, including Hi-Fi Rush developer Tangleworks and Redfall developer Arcane Austin. Holy shit! Microsoft also laid off 650 more Xbox employees in September and also cut around 1,000 employees from its HoloLens and Azure Cloud teams last June. Godly! Holy shit! This is like, what, 5,000 people? 6,000 people? Like, am I off? Like, that's a lot of people they cut, right? And I would imagine, right? And I bring this, main point I want to make is, I would not be surprised if a huge portion of the workforce that usually deals with creating a console, distributing a console, all that stuff, those guys are gone. Because if you're not going to make hardware in-house and you're going with third party, they have the people for that. All you got to do is coordinate for branding and all this stuff. Primarily Windows, right? Microsoft's going to focus on the Windows OS. Third party is going to focus on the hardware, and they already have the structure for that. So Microsoft's cleaning house on hardware, sales, marketers, anybody who's involved in hardware specific stuff. Those guys are gone because they're not building hardware no more. Third party got that covered. What's up, Ghost?
If I can push back a little bit on that, due to the timing because their fiscal year is about to end, one could surmise like doing that soon or this late in the game is knee jerk, right? And so I think it's not necessarily those people that are getting laid off this point in time right now, because that would just be so spontaneous. Like, oh, we're introducing the ROG Xbox LAX and our host of PC gaming, and we're firing motherfuckers in the fiscal year.
This is Microsoft.
Yeah, true. That's not what I would have.
Yeah. But then again, this would be a different Xbox if you were CEO. If you were king for a day, we would have a totally different Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
But I would say this, right? They announced the Xbox Rogue and all that, but they've probably been planning this move for a minute. The direction of their hardware and how they're going to go, right? So they've probably been planning this for at least 2 years, maybe. So, like, now we're seeing the fruits.
Those
was about due. Yeah. So who knows, right? But I'm thinking, this is all part of hey, we're not doing hardware. So at a certain point, people who were hired to do hardware, like the people part of the Xbox Series X and the Xbox One, we don't need you guys no more because you guys are originally hardware designers and stuff like that. You guys are hardware. You sell hardware manufacturing. You guys are responsible to deal with different parts of the world, to distribute hardware, coordinate with the Foxconn plant, with the distribution plant in Brazil. We're not doing that no more. So all that workforce that deals with distribution, creation, marketing behind hardware, we don't need you guys no more because we're not in that business.
Microsoft's some cold motherfuckers, right? They can't string together any good news.
No, man. I think somebody said that. Like, Microsoft, here goes Microsoft. They threw the rake on the ground. They stepped on it, and now it hit them in the face. Like, they can't just say, hey, here's good news, and then just shut up. for at least 6 months. Don't do nothing. Like, just shut up. Like, they always step on their own foot, bro. It's just ridiculous, bro.
They introduced the companion app yesterday, or some semblance of it, with the Steam integration.
Yes.
And then immediately after that, it was the layoff.
Good layoff, right? And that companion app is pretty much like you boot into the Windows Store, but you have, like, I guess, access functionality where you can, like, launch Steam, whatever. So I saw that thread, and a lot of the PC guys, the real PC guys, like, you can tell the real PC guys from the fake. A lot of them are asking, why the hell would I boot up a shitty store? I've just launched Steam. That's what they're mostly asking. So, see, those are the real PC guys. Like, what's in it for them? Like, okay, so you Windows, so you're merging, you're unifying. But why would they waste their time to begin with? They'll just boot into the Steam store straight through. Like, why would they want to go through a Windows launcher to begin with? You know, some of them asking, is it smooth? Is it fluid? It might be bloated. It might make the Steam launcher run worse. Like, how's the integration? Like why? Like, some of them are asking, why do I even care about this Windows launcher? Why I don't use Windows. Some of them, like, I stay away from Windows launcher because it sucks. So why would I even care about this? I'll just stay on Steam. Like, so those are the real PC gamers asking the real questions. Like, what's in it with this whole integration PC? Because they're like, I don't see the point in booting anything but the Steam launcher. Why should I boot up this Windows launcher to play Steam games? Like, what kind of experience is that? Like, to me, I think it's more for the console gamer from Xbox. They're going to boot into this Windows launcher because eventually it'll have the UI of a console. That's the only thing I could guess. I don't know. That's the only thing I guess. Like, I don't know. Microsoft's going to have a hard time convincing real Xbox console gamers to jump on this train. Once it's fully fleshed out and launched, I'm telling you, the real Xbox console gamers are going to be like, what the fuck is this? They're going to look at this shit and they'll be like, what? They're going to be like, this is not what I want. It's going to be interesting.
Like this is a part of the conversation.
But the loudest backflippers, are going to be the ones screaming from the rooftops of how amazing this is. You know
But there's going to be like 10 of them. The kids moves there, but the rest are gonna be like, nah, son, we're not down with this bullshit. They're gonna be like, I don't want you smoking smooth. Fuck no. Watch, it's gonna be hilarious seeing this shit come to fruition.
That's exactly the point. I feel like we haven't talked about enough, like, who actually wants this. Like, I make the joke, it's a trans box or whatever, but for me, I'm like, who actually wants this device? Like, who is it actually serving? And are there more than a baker's dozen of them? Because to me, I just don't see, like, what the appeal is. Like, especially like you talk about the companion app, right? You talk about Windows and everything like that. First of all, I've expressed this for the longest. Windows is absolute dog shit as an operating system.
Most PC gamers agree.
Exactly. PC gamers.
There's a reason why PC gamers still buy their games. They don't care about Game Pass. It's accessible to them. They could have, but they're like, nah, no, I'd rather just buy the game on Steam than to play it for free on PC.
The system is dog shit. So for me, like you say, right, the companion app, right? Like, the thing is, I've played on games on PC before. I have a Steam account. I have games on Steam. I think I have over 100 games on Steam. So when you think about it, why would I use 2 apps? Now, remember, these are the people that didn't want to make a free email for PlayStation games. So why? Why would you want to open 2 apps every single day just to get back to the thing you want to be, right? So what if you have mods, right? The entire point of having a PC, like Steam makes mods integration quite seamless, right? As seamless as they can be. So why would I then open, like this Microsoft platform, then so that I can launch into Steam, then so that I have to boot up Steam anyway to make sure that my mods are working right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So for me, we talked about, if you're in the big chair, you have to be like, what's the actual appeal here? And Play Anywhere has been around since like 2017, 2016. I think it actually predates Game Pass. I think it predates Game Pass. Yeah. And it's like, nobody gave a shit. Like, how many people have you seen genuinely be like, over the years,
it's a small crowd,
came out, or whenever, whenever it popped back in the conversation again, But over the years, just being like steadily, like the way people post about the Portal, every so often the person just posts a photo of the Portal. Hey, I'm enjoying this device. It is a good thing. I like it. It's cool, right? I've never seen a person on the Twitter streets being like, oh yeah, I'm enjoying this Play Anywhere title. No one ever was like, oh, I'm so glad I'm switching from my console to my PC and vice versa, back and forth. I love it. Give me more of that.
There's some super goofies.
No, now they say those now they say, but over the years, where were they? Now that it's back in the conversation, now that they just had a showcase that was like, ooh, Play Anywhere, everywhere. Now they want to be like, oh yeah, I've enjoyed this, since my grandmother first started cooking for me when I was a 3-year-old. I've always this is a family tradition right here. We all play our titles anyway. We love this
right. Now all of a sudden,
exactly right. Like listen, when the next Fire Stick gets upgraded and they can get 4K streaming on it, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, like I remember when my granddad told me back in my day, we only had the original Fire Stick. We could only stream games at 720p. Like people want to, they want to treat it as a family heirloom. They want to treat it as if it's an heirloom. Now that it's like now in the conversation, but it's like, who actually wants this? Play Anywhere has been a thing. People haven't given a fuck. PC Game Pass has been a thing. Some people have gravitated to it. No question there. But by and large, it's been rejected by the majority of the PC community, right? Xbox Game Pass has been a thing where it has had the best success, I think, in converting those users into that subscription model and into the mentality that follows that subscription model. Fantastic. Perfect. But you look at it overall and you're like, you keep making things that are beside the thing that people want to see from you. People wanted to see great award-winning Game of the Year games. That's all they wanted. That's all they've ever wanted. Then Microsoft decided that, hey, you know what? Instead of that, we're going to give you a whole lot of games, a whole bunch of meat. Okay? And people were like, okay, listen, if this is the climb up, right? This is you stepping up, getting hotter and hotter and hotter, like you have a good line this year, then a good song, then a good album. Perfect. We'll ride the wave with you. Then you decide that, okay, we're going to give our games everywhere. And then people were like, hey, you know what? That's not what we wanted. But as long as we're still getting to that great album, like that platinum record, we can still ride that wave with you. Now they're like, hey, listen, let's give you all of these PCs that misidentify themselves as a console. And it's like, why aren't you on the progression path? Why aren't you doing the thing? And the thing is, people now give you lists, right? We love lists. Remember when ABK and Activision was getting purchased and they had all those images, the studios and the IPs and the banner images,
and they were exclusive.
Where are they now?
They're on PlayStation. They're on PlayStation. They went on PlayStation.
I haven't seen those banners that they had like Marvel style banners with all of the IP.
It doesn't have the same impact no more. The impact's not there.
Where are they now?
They're PlayStation.
And, I remember when they were telling us that Microsoft was going to bring back all of these classic games. Even Phil Spencer, he bit into that. He was like, yeah, now that we have Activision, we can bring back all of these games and everything like that. No. Microsoft for the longest has just not been doing the thing. Here's the thing that they want. And I wish people, this is why I like Xbox University. He says what he wants. He wants an amazing console with amazing games that are exclusive to that console. Is that so hard to say? And he wants people to buy that console in the millions of numbers so that he can be guaranteed that there will be continued support for the platform that he invests in. Is that so difficult to say that this is what I wanted? This was the 8-ball, that you had to sink after putting everything else in the thing. After that, I think they will have more leeway to try the Xbox PC Play Anywhere, to try PC Game Pass, to try all of these other things that they are doing. But it's like they're giving you everything else but the core meal. I don't know.
See, and where Phil failed is that he told that fan base all the things you just said, but behind the scenes did the complete opposite. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's been from time immemorial, right? Since 360 era with Don. I mean, the Red Ring of Death they bounced back from that because that console was so damn amazing. Like, that should have killed them, right?
Yes.
And during that console era, like, the Xbox had great games, so it didn't matter that this motherfucker blew up every time. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I'm gonna get another one. I'm gonna replace it because they had awesome games, and that is where they lost their core fundamental. You know what I'm saying? And then they went to the Xbox One, and they tried to make it appealing to get in everybody's good graces, and it just backfired on them. So then you start putting out games that aren't encapsulating people, but the whole while Phil is telling you that he's doing this, and just wait, and just wait, and he's the master of having these dudes hanging on for forever. And so, you know, with that messaging, it's always been, you know, at the core fundamental of any gamer, you want great games. And like you said, they gave them a bunch of games and confused them that they were eating good, and they really weren't. And it is what it is where we're at now, man. And people are getting hip to it. They may not admit it, but they're getting hip to it. And the mass worldwide appeal uh, uh, made that decision. They didn't care about the value. They didn't care about the mass of this game. They wanted that experience, and I guess whatever else, you know, PlayStation gives you. And they did. I mean, and Xbox did it to themselves, and Phil is part of that in their lack of marketing. And then when they do have marketing, the ass backwardness, it's just, and then you took complete control out of his hands when you borrowed that 59 billion, because now you're beholden to the me's of the world who want to see return to their money, and I don't want to wait 20 something fucking years. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. Um, and that pressure that your shareholders have when you borrow that amount of money, and I don't give a damn about people talking about their 4 trillion. That is a megaton of money for a company to spend.
Yes.
And every investor, every shareholder, every board member is going to want an immediate return. And when that happened, that's what this whole shift was, because now you have Microsoft, and you borrowed Microsoft's money to with this promise, and what's that commercial? I want my money and I want it now. And that's what you're saying is this huge mass exodus of growth or expansion through third party publishing and software as what Microsoft, the company, is good at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that's pointing right there, you know, because I've always said this, like investors are, you know, they're a double-edged sword, right? They can get you that money that you want immediately, but they're going to want that return with the quickness, like you said, and they're going to want that increase on the thing. They don't want to be paid back. They want it to be grown from where they were. They didn't invest in you so that they could give them back the money they were already holding in their hand. They want to see that cash flow. And that's truly tragic because again, when you go back at what these people truly wanted, and I always say this, I think that considering how receptive and how communicative the Xbox leadership was, I put it on that community's hands as well as who in 2017, when Game Pass was first introduced, they should have rejected it. They should have said, hey, listen, this is a good idea, but this isn't the idea we want you to follow. Like, if they had rejected it from the beginning in the podcast and the talks and be like, yeah, this is cool, and we're going to treat it the way that PlayStation people treat PlayStation Plus. This is a nice tertiary thing that you just did, but we are not going to pretend that it takes away from your responsibilities. And like your key performance indicator as a platform is create great games. Listen, you're gonna have to go to your other one of your 6 other houses. You know?
I'm gonna go in the garage.
That mosquito was like, "Hey, I want to be a part of the conversation too." Okay, that was a Microsoft spy right there. Because you've got to be careful. You got to be careful. But no, listen. If they had given the feedback to Microsoft leadership, I truly believe they would not have gone down this path because the problem with them is that whatever Microsoft put in front of them suddenly became the best thing in the world, no matter how closely or not it aligned with that core desire of let's actually have Game of the Year award winning games. Like, Podwork, are we actually getting a Game of the Year contender for Microsoft this year? Or would this be like 12 years in a row they're not even in the conversation?
I ask you. because it was on Game Pass.
No, that's not from them. That's not from them.
No, it's Game Pass. It's on Game Pass. That's it. That's the requirement. It's on Game Pass.
Hey, listen.
Game Pass. Game Pass.
Game Pass. And that doesn't count.
Game Pass. Lilu Dallas Multipass. Lilu Dallas Multipass. You know, listen, PlayStation's and Xbox, so Death Stranding too. They share it. You know, but that's a good question, right? And I think I can answer your question. So who is this product for? The answer is for Microsoft. It's for Microsoft, so that way they can stop explaining to their shareholders why they keep losing money on hardware. Because this is the thing. Let's say it's going to launch, and let's say it completely bombs. No one really buys it. The Xbox console gamers finally wake up and be like, oh, no, you're not going to force me onto PC. I'm going to just get a PlayStation, right? The PC gamers are already on PC, and they're not going to buy this stuff. So let's say Asus, Acer, Dell, and they're not going to, like, these third-party hardware, they know hardware. So they're not stupid. They're not going to launch 7 million units. From the get-go. They're not dumb. They know what they're doing. They know. And like you said, like it's kind of like Apple with the Vision. Sure, you lost a couple of 100,000. Nobody bought it, so you stopped making it. But you didn't really lose because you sold it for profit. You just never ramped up production. So they're going to do the same thing. Asus like, yeah, we're probably going to launch like 300,000. Test the waters. See how many people really buy. And it's sold for profit. So whatever they do sell, they got money out of it. Dell might do the same, whoever's involved. But let's say they see overall not a lot of people are really going to buy it. They don't see long-term sustainability and success, so they stop making it. That's it. It's over. Microsoft doesn't feel the pain because they never did the construction to begin with. It was always them. If the program stops after a year or two, Microsoft doesn't lose it. So when you ask who's this for, it's for the shareholders. They could finally tell shareholders, hey, we have no responsibility in hardware loss. We will no longer report to you negative 26% hardware, whatever. That's for the third party to figure out. Dell, Asus, Acer, they get to have those conversations. We just pushing what we always do, Windows. And let's say if third party says, hey, Microsoft, this hasn't been a good partnership strategy. We're done with Xbox branding. Microsoft could be like, all right, that's it. It's done. It's over. They don't have to close down shop. They don't have to close down factories. Has nothing to do with them. They already did that. They did it throughout their layoffs. So it's for the shareholders. That's what it's for. So they can get away from this business. All they want to work is Satya. All they want to do is make Satya happy. Satya, we're no longer selling hardware. It's just Windows platform as a gaming. Everywhere we go. Whoever makes it, it doesn't even have to be Xbox branded. It could be a PC you build yourself. You load it up to Windows, you're good. We got you. Boom. Everybody's happy. So it's for the shareholders. It's for Satya and their vision. That's who it's for. If it's successful, it's successful. If it's not successful, Microsoft doesn't lose out of it. They'll get a little bit of pushback. A lot of people complain on the internet, but Microsoft will be like, listen, as long as our shareholders is happy and we're no longer complaining, Satya's no longer on our necks on why he's missing out on bonuses, that's all they give a shit about. That's all they really care about. They don't want the smoke from the shareholders and Satya about constantly losing money on hardware. They're done with that. So it's for them. And the Xbox console gamer, they either take it or leave it. That's their choice.
Psycho Gamer asks a question. Why would I say that Game Pass is a bad idea when A, it's a great deal, and 2, it is what most companies are doing in terms of games as a service. Xbox One was brand damage, period. Okay, here's the thing. Game Pass in itself is not a bad thing. I like PlayStation Plus. I like Game Pass. I like the subscription services because they give another avenue into the world of gaming, 100%. Game Pass day and date is a hugely negative thing, okay? And what you've got to understand is that the math just doesn't math, okay? And here's the thing, don't take my word for it, okay? Sean Layden said you would need to have he said you would need to charge people like $50 a month, basically, to have like all have like 100 million or a huge number of subscribers. I'll find a quote for you just after this comment so that we can talk about it. But essentially, this is a person, okay? And people say that Sony is greedier than Microsoft, which is funny, but let's go with that. If Game Pass, the Game Pass subscription day-and-date model, to make 1 cent more than the traditional model, Sony would have done it 15 years ago. They did subscription services first. Let's not forget that. They did the whole monthly game giveaway first. All of these things are first, except for day and date. When it came to day and date, they were like, yeah, nah, that doesn't work. And we have seen that not work across many other media. Like you take a look at the movie releases.
They went back to theater.
Subscription service. They went back to the theater. You take a look at books. Again, there is a Game Pass for books. If you have Kindle, if you have ebooks, you can get Kindle Unlimited. That works exactly like Netflix for books, and it doesn't work. People do not. You don't hear people say like, "Oh my God, why would I buy a physical book again?" Or "Why would I buy my own copy of a book when I can get Kindle Unlimited?" Because it doesn't work. We have Audible. Audible has a subscription service that works a little bit better than the Kindle Unlimited, but again, it is a subscription service for audiobooks. And again, you're not seeing people go crazy about Audible. These are the things that we get. So Game Pass doesn't exist on its own, right? It's not a singular service that we cannot look at other things around it and analyze it. Game Pass itself, the most of it is fine. Day and date fucked it up. But the thing is, day and date fucked it up so hard that the entire thing is poisoned. You can't have a service like Game Pass Day and Date into a subscription service and think that is going to be sustainable, make money. I mean, look at the layoffs, right? That's the thing. The second part is it's a great deal for the people. Yes, up to a point. It's only a great deal if it works, right? Because if behind the scenes you're shutting down studios, you're getting worse quality control. Remember, like when we say it's a Game Pass game, none of us feel good about that phrase. If I say to you like, oh yeah, listen, okay? Listen, go play Clear Obscure Expedition 33. It's a Game Pass game, you're running for the hills. I have to say, no, it's a game on Game Pass. It's not a Game Pass game. It's a game that happens to be on Game Pass. I have to make that distinction because we know what the quality control of the first-party games have been ever since Game Pass Day and Date. So again, you have to think to yourself, what do you value most? Do you value quality, or do you simply value the idea of having a buffet that serves you low-calorie nutrition? Most of us, when we want to go out on a date with a person, with a significant other or significant others in like our family, our friends, and everything like that, people that we love, want to have a good time, most of us don't go to the all-you-can-eat buffet. Why?
Nah, fuck that. They going. We going to Chuck E. Cheese. All right? Fuck that. If I'm paying for it, Chuck E. Cheese. That's I'm playing. You think you getting Ruth Chris steaks? You getting pizza.
It's for one person, for my wife.
That's
it. My wife and daughter coming.
That's
Chuck E.
it.
Cheese.
No, that's it. You might get 5 guys. Exactly. More than one person.
Yeah, nah.
Don't play.
No, but it's like, again, you have to take a look at it as a holistic thing. For every one side, what is it? A person once said that if you pick up one side of the stick, you have to pick up the other too. For everything that you think benefits you as a gamer, every part that you think that, oh, Game Pass is valuable because of this, that means that someone has to be losing on the other side of that. Like if you think to yourself, oh, I'm getting a $70 game for a low price, that means that there's like X amount of dollars that somebody else has to cover for. And eventually, those dollars that go missing are going to have an impact, either on the developers that are making the game, or on the publishers that are publishing the game, or on the platform itself. And that's exactly what happened with Game Pass Day and Date. So that is my pushback against this idea that Game Pass is this altogether great positive thing that has no downside or whatever. Now, in terms of the brand damage, I will say this. Xbox sustained heavy brand damage with the Xbox One, especially the E3 presentation. No problem. And then the subsequently released brand damage again with Craig and the Xbox Series. No problem. But I will say this. Combine the totality of that damage, and it isn't anywhere half as bad as the PlayStation 3. nor is it anywhere half as bad as the Wii U. Remember that again, the Xbox One, which people always kind of bring, oh, Don Matrick, set us on the course for failure. Listen, the Xbox One fixed most of its issues before launch, then ended up having a better launch lineup than the PlayStation 4. Yes, there was brand damage, but the point is, they didn't come to market with most of the things that created that damage. PlayStation 3 had brand damage, and for like 6 years they were floundering because they came to market with the thing that people didn't want. The Wii U only sold 50 million consoles, coming off of the success of the Wii. Again, catastrophic by comparison. And both of these companies were able to make it out of that moment. Why? By focusing on the core idea that gamers will forgive you as long as you eventually give them great award-winning Game of the Year quality games. That is it. That's it. When the PS3 was floundering, no one was like, hey, you know what? I would like PlayStation Plus with a day and date component. No one. When the Wii U was floundering, no one was like, you know what Nintendo needs to do right now? Create a Game Pass service where they put the games day and date on the subscription service. No one was asking for that. What did these things do? They went and they focused on the core element of what video gaming should be about, which is give us great, amazing games. And notice that I always say give us great, amazing games. I never said great first party games. Because that's another thing that people will say. They will say, like, oh, Microsoft didn't have the studios. Listen, Sony didn't have the studios during the PlayStation 3. They went out and they got exclusives. And then eventually their studios started ramping up in quality and everything, but nobody penalized them for getting exclusives until they could deliver themselves and then keep having those exclusives as part of the appeal. Same thing with Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo has had studios for the longest, but same thing in that they gave titles that were exclusive to that platform, that were award winning, so that when they finally got the hardware component right, the software library was already there to back it up. We take a look at the what is it? At the Switch 2. And it is the biggest Nepo baby we've seen out of okay, maybe the Xbox Series is even more because they didn't have anything. But the Switch 2 is a big nepotism baby, right? Like we can all agree, right? Like it is literally riding off the success of the Switch. And that's perfectly fine with me. I'm happy for that. I'm happy that people finally get to play these games at a decent frame rate, right? And then the way that they want to experience the game. Fantastic. It is riding off the success and it corrects many things in the hardware, but it's only selling like hotcakes because the software library is there to back it up. That's what we wanted. So that is my thing.
Let me hit up some super chats. Anonymous Boss, he gifted 5 memberships. So 5 of you received a membership. Please give Anonymous Boss. Thank you. Spam some smileys. So again, Anonymous Boss, thank you so much. And then we got Glinzer. He says Xbox is Wile E. Coyote. PlayStation is Road Runner. And I think with that, we're going to end off the show with the last topic.
I actually give the proof of what Sean Layden says. I'll send you a link on the Twitters now.
On the Twitters.
People can see. Because you know when you talk to people,
you got to back it up.
Like, you got to back it up, Okay, I'll send it now. Now, for people, what he gets it. Basically, Sean Layden said, right, that it would take 500 million subscribers, 500 million subscribers, paying $10 a pop, I believe, at the time, in order to make something like a 120 million budget game sustainable for that platform. And people were like, oh my God, he's not working for Xbox. I'm like, yes, but he has way more insight into this, considering that his company must have done the maths.
Because right here, Game Pass can't sustain $120 million games until it has 500 million subscribers, says former PlayStation boss Sean Layden. There is a way to expand the game audience to support the rising cost of biggest games, but Sean Layden doesn't think Game Pass is it. Former head of Sony Interactive Entertainment America has been particularly outspoken about the rising cost of AAA game development, previously saying that those games would need to be shorter, or the players would need would need grow for this model to be sustainable going forward. Layden recently took up a role in Streamline Media Group Advisory Board, spoke to Game Industry Biz about a wide range of topics, including how he believes the games industry could widen its base and speak to more than the same group of 250 million players, which has yet to achieve the exponential growth necessary to sustain its rising cost of development. One potential area to grow the user base is game streaming, which Layden supports, even if he doesn't believe a compelling model has emerged there yet. People don't buy consoles because they want more steel and plastic in the living room. People buy consoles because they want access to the content, said Layden. If you can find a way to get the content to people's homes without a box, then yes, indeed. Everyone has a streaming solution of some form. Most of it is limited by whether you have a decent internet connection. And they haven't constructed the business model that works yet for that. And what about the subscription model for video games? Layden doesn't buy that the massive AAA game, which costs in excess of $100 million, can be sustained by launching into services like Game Pass. It is very hard to launch a $120 million game on a subscription service charging $9.99 a month, he claimed. You pencil it out, you're going to have 500 million subscribers before you start to recoup your investment. That's why right now you need to take a loss-leading position to try to grow the base, but still, if you have only 250 million consoles out there, you're not going to get 500 million subscribers. So how do you circle that square? Nobody has figured that out yet. The way forward, according to Layden, is to diversify games so that it attracts new users outside the standard 250 million, and he believes Streamline Media Group has proven a model that can create those games, right? So to give it a little background, so and like some people, like you said, oh, he's not with Xbox. It doesn't matter because a budget's a budget, a subscription service, a subscription service. So you don't need to be Xbox. All you need to do, okay, what are the costs of these games? What are the costs of the service per month and how many users, right? And then they got the breakdown because they have a library service. PSN Plus is the same as Games Pass minus the day and date. That's the only difference. They don't put their games, but everything else is similar. They have a library of games. They arrange games from third party. They make the deals. They have a system to provide the cut. So whatever money they get from the premium extra tier, of some of it has to go back to those publishers and stuff. They have to do the whole mathematical system. I guarantee, just like what Extreme said, if day and date Game Pass factually produce more money than selling games direct a la carte, Sony would do it. Why wouldn't they want to make more money with a proven system? They would do it. It's no different. You saw Sony. Sony had the free online. And they're like, you know what? Microsoft is making money with paid online. And the people bought into it. So we're going to do it too. So PlayStation, if Game Pass actually effectively was profitable and made lots of money, Sony would do the same thing too. Sony's not doing day-and-date sales, or a la carte sales just to say, oh no, we're just doing a la carte sales. If a system like that was proven to be profitable beyond selling games, they would absolutely do it. There's no reason to. Why wouldn't you adopt a system that ultimately makes you more money as compared to an older system? But they've done the math. They've done the formula, right? The reason why Microsoft is doing it, because one, for a while, they have the ability to, fund it, right? Now they're putting the games everywhere, which alleviates some of that funding, right? So when you say, oh, PlayStation gamers are helping fund Game Pass games, you're right. We are, right? One of many, not just us, but PC gamers, right? And Microsoft's going to go invest in phone gaming. They're going to do that. But just like Netflix for years was losing money. Because the hope is you get to the point where you have enough subscribers that it now sustains itself, right? And you saw it took Netflix up, I think when they finally reach 180 million subscribers is when they're like, got it, we're finally at the point. But keep in mind, they still raise prices every 6 months. So it wasn't just gaining subscribers in of itself. It was also continuous raising prices. So it was both. Gain subscribers, raise price. And more often than not, they were probably raising prices faster than gaining subscribers. Yeah, eventually they hit that. Eventually they hit that point. Gain subscribers, raise price. Gain subscribers, raise price. Gain subscribers, raise price. Gain subscribers, raise price. Boom. We hit the part of profitability where now, making day one shows in this are no longer losing money. We are gaining profit. And Microsoft's going to get that point between gaining subscribers, raising profits, raising the prices. But the problem is they haven't been gaining subscribers even at a decent rate. It's been pretty slow. They're still hovering. Like Netflix, I mean, Game Pass came out in 2017. That was 8 years ago. In fact, June, 8 years ago this month, Game Pass launched. And they're still toying around 35 million.
Yep.
You know, they should be at, I mean, if you compare it to the movies, I mean, let's look at Disney Plus. Disney Plus launched in 2019. Launched 2 years after Game Pass. They're at, what, 180, 190 million subscribers? Now, granted, Disney Plus is a little bit easier to subscribe to because it's on TVs, phones. Console gaming is a little bit harder, but you know, I don't think it's reasonable to say that between Xbox and PC, they should be at 50 million. 50 million is probably more likely, you know? So I would imagine they missed some targets.
That's the thing. That's the thing that people, because the thing is, we talk about, you just said, you know, like, oh, you know, Disney Plus is more because more devices can access it, including the mobile phone, of course. But let's not forget that PC has like between 120 to 200 million monthly active users on Steam alone, right? So it's like there is this huge fan base that has access to this thing and they don't want it because in and of itself, simply getting games given to you that you don't want to play necessarily, it's not as valuable for everybody as they think it is. Listen, I think Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and even the Nintendo Switch service, they have amazing games, amazing titles that most people will not ordinarily play. But the thing is, a lot of people, even with the subscription service, are still choosing not to play it. I think, what was it? Was it Doom the Dark Ages that only had like 3 million subscribers? So 3 million players across everything. Everybody that bought it, everybody that saw it on PC, everybody that downloaded it from both PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass, and it only reached 3 million players. That means that over 30 million people that were already paying for it. They already paid for it. They were like, yeah, I'm not playing it. I don't want it. You know? And what about South of Midnight? They didn't even release players count. They didn't even say 1 million for that game. That means that even people who are paying for these games cannot be bothered to download them. And that's what I mean by the quality control. You don't have it. You don't have it. People don't want your shit. They've already paid for your shit and they're leaving it alone. They're like, I'm not, listen, it's a people like, I don't know, making an order at the library and being like, oh yeah, I want to get these books. So they pay for it, they pay for the service, everything. And then when the book comes, they're like, yeah, I can't be bothered picking it up. You know? Except it's even worse because they technically have to physically drive to the library to get the book. This is something that they can do from their couch. They just have to press download and it will count. And they're not even choosing to do that. There is a huge downside in this whole subscription service, especially when you go with day and date publishing. Okay? That's it. That's the argument. And again, I'm one person and I could see it, but you take a look at Sean Layden, a person who will have access to the factual data to back up the mathematics. And people always say like, oh, you know, if it's $120 million, right? Let's play the game. We're going to have how many subscribers? Let's say we have 40 million subscribers. Let's say 50 million subscribers, okay? Let's say they're paying $10 a month. Okay, I'm going to multiply that 50 million by 10, and that's going to be 500 million. And then I'm going to multiply that by how many months in a year, and that's going to be this. And they come up with this number that looks to be huge. And they're like, see, it's sustainable. Here's the thing. In the movie industry, right? A movie typically, because of agreement deals and partnerships, usually has to make 2.5 times its cost in order to break even. So if you see a movie that costs $100 million, it has to make at least $250 million before it even breaks even on production. And that's one big reason that when people see like, oh, this movie launched for X amount at the box office, and people are like, oh, it cost, let's say, $100 million to produce this movie. And at the box office, it got like $60 million. And people are like, oh, well, that's not too bad because eventually, you know, as the year goes by, it's going to get over 100 million. Yeah, it will, definitely. But that's the problem. It's still losing money because it has to make at least 250 million, right? Because a lot of the time, when it says a film costs $150 million to make, a lot of them don't always include the marketing deals and the partnership deals and everything else that goes into the distribution of that movie worldwide. So, again, if that is true for movies, I'm not saying that the multiplier is the same for games, but there will be a multiplier for the games. There is a cost to running the service in the first place. There's marketing costs, there's labor, there's upkeep. There are people that have to maintain those servers. And when we talk to people that are in the know about IT, they're like, hey, listen, this whole idea of like maintaining servers and maintaining storefronts and everything, that isn't cheap. Those are people that you are paying all of the time in order to make sure that this shit is running. And I'm telling you, these things are not just a matter of, oh, X amount of subscribers multiplied by X amount of cost per month, multiplied by X amount of months in a year in order to get to, oh, look, it's sustainable. Because a lot of the time, people don't even think about all of the other 400 games that are in there. Game Pass is not just a service that gives you one game at a time. It's a service that gives you 400 games. So you can't just release like a $100 million game in there and then you do your math, not accounting for the other 400 games that are already there and that are still costing them money. So listen, Game Pass is not sustainable on its own. If it were, they wouldn't be having layoffs, okay? But here's my advice to Microsoft. You know what they should do, Podorock? They should release the games on Xbox. I've heard from everybody that that's what people should do. I don't know why they didn't think about it, but they should. They should release the games on Xbox because Xbox will save everything. Just ask Final Fantasy.
All right. All right, brother. All right. That pretty much covers the show. Give you a little outro. Everybody pretty much dipped.
Right.
Little outro.
Right. Yeah. Listen, peoples, go ahead, find my channel. You're gonna love it. Listen, we're going to talk about all of the things I can barely even say on this channel, okay? Because this channel is for the educated folk, okay? This channel is for the gentlemen, okay? But on my channel, we get to have fun, okay? So I'm telling you, we're going to talk about these Xbox ideas and the identities that are going to be coming our way. And that's going to be our next video, okay? That's what we're going to do. So,
all right.
On my channel, you'll like it.
And to finish the round off of super chats, Andrew Wilkins, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Andrew says, PS4 had a better launch sales-wise. PS4 launch games averaged 2 mil plus. Xbox One less. Titanfall 1 on Xbox flopped. EA didn't realize what? EA didn't realize the cell numbers? Realize the cell numbers? Like the cell numbers? Right? An anonymous boss gave out 2 more gift memberships. So 2 more people in this chat. I see JD Gamer. He's a member. Exposed. I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip your name and show you a member. And I'm gonna send it to Dirk Rigetti. I'm like, JD Gamer left Xbox. He's down with me now. No, I'm just playing with you, JD Gamer. He's gonna be like, fuck. He's like, I'm not a member. I'm not a member. But anyway, man, thank you guys for rocking out. Hope you enjoyed the show. This week is all about Death Stranding. All right. Oh, so let you guys know, Friday. I'm trying to arrange it. But Gamester wants to GameStar, the nightmare on Elm Street, whatever the F his name is, he wants to debate. So the question is my channel, his channel. I don't really care about the channel, but I'm trying to coordinate that with him. So I will keep you guys tuned in. But it's going Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. I think he's a little ballsy. I think he's embracing PC masteries. We'll see what's his angle. I guess he's PC masteries now. We'll see. We'll see what it is. All right, but we'll see the details. He said, "Gamesters whack. Bring Colt on. Colt would never come on this channel. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, some people, you guys have to know who's gonna say no. You guys have to know." Oh man,
people want the fuckery. They don't care.
Like some people, like some of your names, like some names, some names they recommend are great, but some are obvious that they're not coming, right?
Wait, who would be bigger than Colt? Actually, Colt versus Porter. Who would be the bigger Is there anyone that would even be a higher maybe Destin? I feel like
Destin would be
Destin
good.
or
I think
Ryan
I could get
McCaffrey.
Destin on here. I think I get me and Destin are cool because I talk to him in the DMs and stuff like that. I might get him, but I
So
think I
Destin is
might.
one of those people that admits to you that you were right in the DM, but won't do it to him. Okay, I see.
Oh man, why you gotta do that to him, man? Oh man, why you gotta go there? Oh man, but he's a good dude, man. He even stopped by one of my lives, and he stopped by one of my lives and chatted and stuff. So I think I could do.
What's your Twitter password? Let me see something.
Okay, get out of here. No, sorry, no evidence. No evidence. None. It's you ain't got the clearance. You ain't got the clearance.
I want you to know that when I hack you, I don't want your social security number. Okay?
No, you ain't clearance.
I want to see the DMs.
I am unhackable. All right. I have my password's so good I don't even know it. the moment like my phone or PC says re-enter password, I'm just gonna go. I forgot my password. Start a new one. I don't remember it. That's how good my password is.
People are saying Crab Gamer. Crab Gamer would be all
Crab Gamer was good. He would go on, but I think he was gone for. I tried to invite him before, but I think he was away for a while. So Crab Gamer would show. I think he would do it, right? So we'll do it. Okay, Gangster talk bad on King Thrash White. Oh no, Tony the Pony. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Yeah, we ain't doing no personal stuff. All right, we're not doing that. But you best believe my man's gonna get the beat down. You understand? So I'm breaking out the belt and I'm gonna run it underwater. Leather and water. If y'all know, y'all know. Anyway, you already friended the YouTube streets It's traumatized, boy. Like damn. Not only is the belt coming, but the faucet on. Oh shit! Oh, this is
bad.
You
ever had the engine belt?
Okay, the engine belt or like what? The serpentine belt? No, I had
like an actual engine belt.
No.
Oh yeah, that shit hurts.
Like an engine belt, like the serpentine belt, or like the
from like a motor engine.
Yeah, but the serpentine belt that's wrapped around the alternator.
That's the one,
Oh wow, you really pissed off because that's a lot of work to get that.
That was my school.
Wow, shit. You know what I'm saying?
They went reduce, reuse, recycle. We're good.
Wow. I'm like, hey, this serpentine belt's still good for something. Oh man, save it.
All right. We're not throwing this in the trash.
Oh. All right. All right, guys. Well, I'll keep you abreast and let you know how that will pan out. So stay tuned on my Twitter, PorterRock77_. And of course, I have Blue Sky, right? PorterRock77. But anyway, thank you so much for rocking out the channel. Please continue to hit the like button before you dip and share this out. This is your only friend, is YouTube Streets, PorterRock77, and I am out of here. Tony the Pony says, Gamesters chat are full of fake accounts to troll. It's all good, man. Listen. When it comes to debate, it's about getting the information out there. When people listen, they know who won. When you hear the words of victory, you know. You just know. That's it. I don't care about the trolls. I just need the truth out there, live on the mic. All right. But anyway, I'm out of here. You guys take care. Peace.